Are you excited?
For what?
We got 60 days until the USFL starts, man.
No, I'm not excited.
Steven, you have to just bear with me here. This is the time of year where I get a little crazy and depressed because Super Bowl's fantastic, but there's no more football left, and I don't know what the hell we're gonna do with this podcast. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Just Your Opinion, man. Steven, Derek, but I don't know, man.
That's
No
like the worst.
football.
That's like the worst possible start that you could have to this podcast.
Why would
Hey,
you
this.
watch this anymore?
Hey, the Super Bowl's over. We got nothing else to talk about. Like, way to get them going.
No, we'll have things to talk about. There's nothing like football to me. So, yeah.
Where are
And
you?
well, I'm live from Del Boca Vista. That's actually a made-up place from Seinfeld. I'm in Boca Raton in Florida at my mom's place. I flew the day after the Super Bowl. I will get into all the details of how long my commute was because I know everybody cares about that, Stephen. But yeah, man, this is the time of year where I get a little depressed because there's no more football around.
So, are you sure you weren't just making up this whole traffic bit so that you can get out of saying that you actually hung out with Belichick and Urban Meyer at Mar-a-Lago yesterday at the Super Bowl
Oh,
party, or 2 days
I
ago?
I mean, I would definitely have done that. Is that where they were? Belichick
Yeah,
and Urban Meyer?
yeah,
What's
yeah.
up? What's up with Herbs these days? Not Michael Urban, but Urban Meyer, where he took his name off of his restaurant now.
I
You
don't
see
know.
that?
I, I, I haven't paid attention to anything Urban Meyer. This is the first time I've heard his name in a few
Yeah.
weeks. Urban Meyer and Bill Belichick, Mar-a-Lago, Super Bowl party. Let's go.
I actually should have promoted this instead of the traffic thing. I was not actually at the Super Bowl. I was adjacent across the street at the studio.
Mm-hmm.
I did run into Aaron Donald, and I did talk to him briefly.
Really?
Yes, we will get. I shouldn't say me. It was me and a bunch of coworkers, and we quickly talked to him, and we'll get to that. But Steven, so do we ever decide who lost this bet? Because
You did.
I definitely did.
Yeah. Yeah, we
Okay.
said we were gonna do it based on like the point spread. We didn't say the point total. If we were gonna do the point total, I would have given you a total.
Well, no, but I said the total. I did the math really quick.
Yeah,
47
well,
to 17 is 58, and yours was 35-30, so you're 65, so you're over.
yeah, but we talked about the spread. You were way off. You said the Rams were gonna blow them out.
I did say that. So I got to do the hot sauce?
Yeah.
It's
If
only
you
fitting.
want. If you don't want to, that's totally fine.
No,
too.
I
I'm not
mean,
gonna
hey,
pressure
I'm
you.
a man of my word. I will do it. I just got to go to my mom's cabinet real quick and grab, I don't know, Tapatio, whatever the hell she's got in there.
If it's
Uh,
Tapatio, don't bother. Like, come on. What do
no,
you
I have sriracha. I can do like a spoonful of sriracha.
a spoonful of
A
sriracha?
spoonful of sriracha makes the medicine go down.
Mm,
I'm actually sitting outside of my mom's patio, sipping on Tito's. Life's good.
lovely. Lovely. Drinking on a what is it, Tuesday?
Drinking on Tuesday, baby.
Drinking on a Tuesday night. That's how it goes. All right. All right. You know what? You put it at the end of the tweet. Let's just do it now.
Okay.
How long did it take you to get to and from SoFi Stadium?
To
or
and
to
fro?
from work?
To and fro. So I left my house at 10 a.m. to get to the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
The setup at our work was we were not going to park at our normal location because we were giving parking to fans. So the drive over to the location where I needed to park near LAX, not that bad at all. At 10 a.m., LA fans not showing up to the game super early. So I got to the location pretty quickly. Got there around, I want to say 10:30. And then I see that our shuttle service is just a bus full of Bengals fans. So all of the NFL Network employees that weren't lucky enough to get parking that day had to shuttle in with a ton of Bengals fans, and that was fun. Not a big deal, but the shuttle over took quite a bit of time, and then we were dropped off, not even remotely close to where our location is at NFL Network. So I had to walk around the entire, like, on the far side of SoFi Stadium, all the way around to get to where the NFL Network studio is. Not complaining. It was just a long walk. And the security guards, my badge was not full access. It was just NFL media access, which meant I could only go to a certain building. And
Okay.
every security guard was just like, you can't come through here. This is Wyclef's private party. You can't come through here. And I was like, well, I need to get to work. And I think I walked probably 30 minutes to get to work. And I was drenched in sweat. And I looked at my watch or should I say my phone, when I got to the studio finally, and I got to work at 12:30. So 2 hours and 30 minutes to get to work. Leaving work, it was kind of dicey because we have to work on the post-game show. And the post-game show was going to take some time. And we found out that the parking lot where we left our cars starts towing cars at 10:30. So we were like, fuck, we need to start leaving to get our cars back and not have our cars towed. So we left around 9 o'clock. Everyone released us. We were good to go. All the work was done. And I got back. Everything was fine. Took the shuttle back, got in my car, got to my house around 11 o'clock. So I would say you were right, Stephen, on the over. It took me about just slightly over 3 hours and 45 minutes total for me to go to the Super Bowl and back.
Wow. Good line you set.
Yeah.
I mean, well, you got through it. Whatever. I mean, it doesn't sound like it's too painful.
No, I mean, like, hey, honestly, like I was paid to watch football on Sunday. I was paid to go to the Super Bowl, essentially. So it was a great time. Real quick, walking out of the stadium, walking with my coworkers, we see somebody in the distance wearing a nice tie-dye sweater. And I'm like, that's Aaron Donald. Holy shit, that's Aaron Donald. And we start walking up to him. And one of my coworkers stops him and says, great game, man. And I think that he didn't register with him quickly enough where he thought we were asking for a picture. So he initially goes, no. Oh, thanks, man. Thanks. We were, I mean, like while we were walking away, we're like, man, we should have asked him if he's retiring.
Yeah.
Because that's the rumor now, but I don't believe it. But yeah, it was cool. We ran into Aaron Donald. He had his family with him. And it was a mix, I would say, of him feeling so jubilated and not wanting to be bothered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, you got people all around you after you win a Super Bowl. I can't really imagine how that is. Like, yeah, obviously. So Aaron Donald, though, that's pretty cool.
It was cool. Yeah. And I would say, like, just watching him and not shoulder pads and helmets and everything, not the biggest guy in the world, but I'm sure you don't want to fuck with him between the lines on Sunday, obviously.
Well, he was wearing a sweater, though, right?
He was wearing a sweater, so he was nice and cuddly, but he was not. Yeah, he was not menacing. Or if you saw that Super Bowl photo where he's giving like the poopy face but angry face, like I'm ready to fuck shit up on Sunday. Did you see that? You see that photo?
I can't. Dude, I don't know. There were a lot of photos of the
Super
Bowl. I don't know. Like, I don't know which one you're talking about.
Did you see the photo of Snoop, God forbid, smoking before the halftime show?
Yeah. It's like water is wet.
Yeah, basically.
Snoop Dogg takes a hit before a halftime show.
Yeah,
and we'll get into that later. But
yeah,
let me tell you a little bit about my weekend here.
Let me hear it.
I didn't exactly meet Aaron Donald. Didn't do that.
Not exactly.
No, didn't do that. Hung out here, watched the Super Bowl on my own. Jesse was working. Made some chicken wings for the first time. Delicious.
How'd that go?
Very well. Very well.
What sauce did you use?
Well, I mixed Frank's Red Hot. I mixed, put that shit on everything. Mixed that with honey and melted butter.
Ooh,
and I just tossed that into some wings, put them in the fridge, season them a little bit, put a little baking powder on there to get them crispy, put them in the fridge for about, I don't know, damn near 22, 23 hours. I think that's where I marked it. And then cooked the wings and dipped them in the sauce. It was fantastic. But for the past month, maybe a little less, there's been this stench in our apartment. Now, this stench, didn't know what it was. I've smelled this type of stench before. It smelled like a dead animal. And I've smelt it in my laundry room growing up. I remember that smell. It's a very distinct smell. It was a dead mouse at the time. And I was like, damn, we have that same smell coming from here. Now, two things. We used our fireplace for the first time a couple of months back. We thought it was maybe that. Turned out it wasn't, right? I turned the living room over, trying to find a dead animal somewhere. Maybe a mouse, maybe a bird. I don't know. Something that has that smell. But the craziest part was it was in this particular sliver of our living room. It was like a wall of smell, if you will. If you sit in this specific spot on the couch, you will smell it. If you sit on the other side of the couch, you will not. So it's like this is a very, very specific place where the smell is. Had no
Yeah.
idea what it was. So we put in a maintenance request with our apartment. They never answered. And eventually they
always.
did. They did when we followed up. They brought the guy there. I forgot his official job title. He comes in. The smell wasn't really there at the time. It was just it kind of lingers. It goes back and forth. It goes away, then comes back. So we're just questioning what the hell it is. I was like, is something in the wall? Like, what the hell's going on? Been
It's
driving
like in a movie where you show a ghost to people and they're like, I don't see anything.
Exactly. So this guy comes in, takes a look up our fireplace. Nothing dead up there. You know, you're not seeing Dick Van Dyke from Mary Poppins stuck in the chimney. No, nothing like that.
He's been there for 10 years, just rotting.
And he still has this shitty English accent that still comes off as American. But we eventually, like, he came through. He said, all right, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to check upstairs. I'm going to see what's going on up there. Then I'll follow up with you guys. Okay, great. Never followed up. So Jesse walked over to the office, told them, hey, the smell is still there. Put in a maintenance request. It's really been bothering us. We think it's coming from upstairs. Can you please come check it out? So they came to check it out. This was on the Saturday. They come into the apartment, and I'm like, they just walk in. They're like, I don't really smell anything. I'm like, no. You got to walk to the wall. You got to walk to the wall of smell here. And I'm like, stand in this specific spot. So I got the like a actor hitting their mark. I'm like, you got to stand here. So they stood there. They smelt the smell. They said, all right, I get what you're talking about. Let's go check upstairs. So they went to check upstairs. Turns out they called it a housekeeping issue. Turns out our upstairs neighbor got kind of sick, I guess. She's an old lady. I've never met her, but she has been hoarding her stuff, and the smell seeped its way into our apartment.
Okay, that's better than what I thought it was. I thought she died up there.
No.
Okay, okay.
Still very much alive.
Okay, good.
But the stench.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, what the hell?
What is she hoarding?
I don't know. They just said it was a housekeeping issue, and my door was open. I think her door was open. I didn't want her to hear me. She could probably hear me right now. But
was it cheese?
No, dude, it smelled like a dead animal. So they're getting these people who are going to help clean the house, I guess.
Okay.
Right? So got that done. Next part. So as this is all happening, a water pipe burst in front of our bedroom window.
Is this weekend?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And there's water.
Was this Super Bowl Sunday?
No, this was
Okay.
this was actually on Friday. So the smell thing happened on Saturday. This happened on Friday.
Got it.
A water pipe had burst. I believe it was called the boiler plate or something like that. That's the technical term.
Okay.
Right out in front of our bedroom window. They're digging. They got to go deep into the ground. They got to figure out what the problem is. Our water hasn't been working the entire weekend. Our hot water, at least. The regular water was. Then on Sunday night, after a fun Super Bowl, I can't wait to go in the next morning, talk about it on the show. Oh my God, I get Super Bowl Monday. I work the 5 a.m. shift. I'm the first one that gets to talk about the Super Bowl in San Francisco. Well, these dudes are doing construction out there. Go to bed at about 9 o'clock. They're doing construction out there. I could hear the drilling, and up to 9:30, still going on. So I was like, No. And then Jesse's like, you know what? You got to go sleep in the living room. You got to sleep on the couch. You got to get your sleep. Like, she's like, you got to get some sleep. So I did. Went out to the living room couch, and I fell asleep. No big deal.
Good.
Jesse told me that they had been around till 12:30 in the morning.
No.
12:30 a.m. They are drilling. They are talking loudly, and they kept Jesse awake. Jesse was going to go complain. Never did. Then we complained the next day. They said they left by 10. They completely lied to our apartment people. So they were doing that. And now we have hot water. It looks like they're done with the construction outside. All they got to do is fill the hole back up. And there you go. That was my Super Bowl weekend outside of the Super Bowl. Unreal.
Yeah.
I
You should
better get
never...
a 3 months rent, dude. I'm
Yeah, man, that's fucked up. You should not have people past 9 o'clock. Shouldn't on a Super Bowl Sunday, on a Sunday before people go to work. You should never have people working on shit. The cutoff, in my opinion, is always 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock, and you're done with what you're doing. Like my mom's having the roof done on her house. They're
Yeah.
done at 4:30 and out of here.
Right.
You cannot. That's just rude. That's rude to people
Oh.
living in their apartments. No,
Dude, it was like, what are you doing? You're
Yeah.
still drilling. You're still like, I get
No.
it. They're trying to, the thing is they're
Nope.
trying to get us hot water. So we want hot water, but they're doing it till 12 in the morning.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
what the hell,
not good.
man?
No, you handle that better than me because I'd be the one being like, "Hey, the fuck we doing here, guys? It's 12:30 at night. I work the 5 a.m. shift. I'm not doing this shit."
Turn the sound off.
Yeah, no, that's me always the one. Like I would not have stood for that. But good for you. You actually fell asleep soundly and everything.
I did. Yes. Put on a little 2020 as I do on Hulu. I like to fall asleep to those weird crime documentaries.
You
and
like
boom.
you like falling asleep to people getting murdered.
In a weird way. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Soothing. You know,
I like Seinfeld. You like what's his name? No, wait, is it Dateline or 2020 with the guy that Bill Hader does? Chris? Is it? No,
that's
Chris.
That's Dateline.
Yeah, it is Dateline. The guy
Yeah.
that goes like, so you were killed with a smile.
Yeah. Nope. Different thing. 2020 is all a bunch of ABC News correspondents.
Yeah, that's right.
So it is what it is, man. But we're here. Super Bowl was great.
Hey, we
Had a great
survived.
weekend.
We survived.
Mhm.
You, me, Mary J. Blige, we survived in the end. She was exhausted from that performance. Good God.
I didn't
Just
even
like-
notice that. I
You
didn't,
didn't see at the end when she just fell back, just like,
no.
She was like screaming at the top of her lungs, "No more drama!" And just like it just died. She was great. We'll talk about the halftime show, but let's talk about the game and the event itself. Halftime, or I should say, the national anthem was really good. But they have to time that shit really well because the flyover is crucial to the timing of when you end.
Right.
That last line of the national anthem.
Yeah.
And it must have been like we have glass windows in our studio because the flyover happens and we didn't hear shit. So there's multiple people that just didn't hear the Blue Angels or whoever was flying over the stadium. But I ask you this, sir. I know you love The Rock. I love The Rock. Do we need The Rock to prolong the Super Bowl to just say the most like mundane shit, like it's Magic, like it's a Magic Johnson tweet, like, "Are you ready for the Super Bowl?" Yeah, no shit, Dwayne. Like, let's just start the event already.
Finally. He did that like multiple times. I understand it, but he can't do any of the classic Rock lines on national television.
Well, I thought he was going to end with, "Can you smell what the Super Bowl is cooking?" But he didn't do that.
Right. Which one of these teams is going to check in to the Heartbreak Hotel after the game? That kind of thing. But I got it. Like watching the Rams one, that was whatever. But the Bengals one with the Bengals like all standing on the field behind him, getting ready to kick the ball off. If I was the Bengals, I would have got.
But it was so awkward. It was so awkward with him just standing there, just being like, "All right, let's do this," and everybody's like waiting, like, "Yeah, let's go already."
Yeah. In his
in
his maroon suit or maroon.
Yeah. Oh, he was wearing like crushed velvet. It was nice. I was expecting him just to be like, "All right, which one of you are going to be a champion, and which one are going to be a bunch of candy asses?"
Yeah.
I thought he was going to pull a Vince McMahon for a second, just forget where he was, just be like, "This is the XFL."
Yeah. But it wasn't the Rock's thing. To me, that was whatever. I thought that was cool. It was just the Rock. I was just Rock. The Rock's here yet again. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. He is all over. But my thing was the Halle Berry thing, and then the rest of just the Super Bowl.
Yeah, the Halle Berry thing was cheesy because I know they're trying to push we're in LA, it's movie magic plus football.
Yeah, but hasn't Hollywood been tainted enough? Like the reason we looked so fondly over the mythical Hollywood is because that's where stars are born. But isn't it tainted with the Me Too movement and understanding that Hollywood was built on misogynism and power-hungry jackasses? Like Hollywood just doesn't have the same, to me at least. I'm like, Hollywood sucks. I hate Hollywood just because of everything that it's not. I mean, it stands for, living your dreams, the American dream, but also knowing what some women have had to go through in order to get to that dream. For me, kind of ruined it. I'm just like, why are we I just thought as a nation we're kind of over Hollywood, which is what I thought like the Oscars kind of is about, like
Yeah.
us just not being interested in the Oscars is knowing that, all these people like thanked Harvey Weinstein more than they thanked God. I think at one point they did that statistic.
People forget about that.
So it's just the Hollywood thing. I don't know. Didn't do anything for me. So outside of it, it was cool. I mean, it was all well shot. Everything's well edited, and it's 2022, so all the videos are going to be sweet. But it's just Hollywood. I don't know. I just don't look at Hollywood the same anymore.
Oh, dude, try living in LA and all the phoniness of Hollywood be pushing your face all the time. No, I'm with you. I mean, like the Halle Berry thing was cheesy. Once the game started, though, it was great. It was a great game. And let's just get into the game. I thought the Rams, like I said in the game, like I said in the last show, where I thought they were going to win 41-17. I think that if Odell Beckham doesn't get hurt, they kill them. Because between the passing game and the pass rush in the second half, I thought that they were going to kill him.
Yeah.
Like Matthew Stafford started the game. What was he? He was 9 of 10 for 127 yards and 2 touchdowns. And they came out hot, especially Odell with those 2 catches, the touchdown catch, and then the long one later on.
Yeah.
And the Cooper Kupp TD. I thought they were rolling, and I thought they were going to kill him, honestly. Joe Mixon had that nice touchdown pass, but I thought they were going to pull away and destroy them, honestly. And there was the bad snap with Johnny Hekker. But if Odell doesn't get hurt, in my opinion, I think that it's not even that close.
No, you're right. You're 100% right. But I think a lot of people, not a lot of people are focused on that so much. The issue that I had at the end of the game is, as every big game normally comes down to, people are just paying attention to the flags, the penalties at the end. It's just all that was talked about was Logan Wilson. He didn't get a holding. It wasn't pass interference, whatever the call was. Well, you know what? There was an egregious penalty that was missed right out of the half where T. Higgins grabbed Jalen Ramsey's face mask and pulled him to the ground. So it could have gone either way. I'm with you. I thought the Bengals were going to make it just as much of a game. Like when I saw Jamar Chase make that catch, I was like, oh, it's going to be, I mean, that's all you need to really start the momentum for your team. And you just create that connection, that one-on-one, you're creating that, the confidence and everything. I figured that it was going to be him and Jamar Chase all day. But the Rams only held him to a field goal in that. I don't think we pay attention enough to that specific drive there because they got all the way down to the Rams 11-yard line and they managed to hold him to a field goal. Those plays normally end up in a score. So it's a lot of those different types of plays. The ones in the second half where they were just making the Bengals punt after the touchdown and the field goal to go up 20-13 or whatever the score was. I forgot what it was. But I agree with you, though. If Odell didn't get hurt, if he was rolling. He was rolling. I think he had 50 yards receiving or 52 yards receiving up to that point.
Yeah. He had 2 catches for 52 yards.
Yeah. So even up to that point, you knew this was going to be, he was going to take advantage of it. So I don't know. The Rams were deserving to win. Happy for a lot of those guys on the team. OBJ has kind of changed my perception of him, especially with how Antonio Brown has just acted out these past
game.
Yeah, I know, with Kanye. Good Lord.
Wearing a black mask.
After Kanye had the biggest meltdown on Instagram that's still ongoing that I've ever seen. It was crazy to see him in the public eye.
You may have to fill me in on that later.
Oh, boy.
I actually didn't see what happened.
Oh, boy. But he, yeah, to me, man, it was the Rams were the better team in that game. Yeah. And the Bengals, like we said, the pass rush was going to be the most important thing. And if you're getting chased and sacked 7 times, which tied the record since Super Bowl 10 for the most times sacked in a Super Bowl, you're not going to win those games. So I thought the Rams were absolutely deserving of it.
I thought they were deserving as well. It was a very resilient win, I would say. It was tough. They had to grind it out.
Gritty.
It was a gritty win. Cooper Kupp was getting beat up the whole game. They were going to take him away, and that's why Odell was open. And that's why they were going to win that matchup favorably because, like I said, I don't think Mike Hilton, or we saw later Eli Apple, those receivers had a hard time taking away Odell. Now, if you double-team Cooper Kupp, it's going to be tough. But, man, you got to give credit to that guy. I'm not saying he's the best receiver in the league. I'm not even saying he had the best receiving season of all time. But just the fact that and we'll get to the MVP talk later of whether or not Cooper Kupp was more deserving than Aaron Donald. But just he saved the game for them. And I don't want to shit on Matthew Stafford like everybody else is doing, whether he's a Hall of Famer or not, blah, blah, blah. We'll talk about that later. He did throw two interceptions that were bad. One of them was dropped by fake Cooper Kupp, Skoranek. But
brutal.
It was brutal. And that's the thing is Odell injury just, I'm sure the way they felt for the first few drives of that game going up 13-3, McVay's like, we got this. We got this in the bag. Stafford's feeling good. Cooper Kupp is, helping out here or there, but it doesn't really matter because they got so much weapons on the field that they're able to dissect the Bengals. But having him leave the game with now is official a torn ACL, and it's tough for him. I feel bad for Odell. I'm sure the Rams are like, hey, I'm glad we won. I'm sad for him, but now we can probably get him on the cheap in free agency. We'll get to that a little later.
Yeah.
But yeah, you saw the anxiety and the stress in Sean McVay's face. Because I think at one point the cameras actually caught it where the team doctor whispered in his ear, Odell's got an ACL, and he was like, okay. And you could just see like, fuck, how are we going to do this? Because last time they were in the Super Bowl, it was McVay not making adjustments for the whole game and just Belichick just killing him and realizing that Jared Goff just can't get it done.
Right.
This time it was, we have a good game plan and they can't stop us. And now our best player, one of our best players, is not there anymore. What the hell do I do? Because I don't have Tyler Higbee. I have no running game whatsoever. That's something they have to address in the offseason, but they could not run at all. And I've never seen anything like that where someone won a Super Bowl just basically throwing the football like that. And
that
it
was so frustrating, by the way.
Yeah.
That drive that ended up in the Cooper Kupp jet sweep on fourth down, that final scoring drive, I'm like, dude, if you go under center again, if you make Matthew Stafford go under center one more time and you run that football one more time, good God. And they did it again on 3rd and 1. I mean, Cam Akers, I like the guy, but, he's clearly not. I mean, he's only a couple of weeks back. I mean, it's not like he's just getting started for his season. And Darrell Henderson couldn't do anything either. It was awful with the run game.
It was, but I think it's mostly on McVay because I don't think he disguises his runs very well. When it's single back and it's just Cam Akers or Darrell Henderson or Sony Michel, they're running.
Yeah.
You got to run some gun runs a little bit more. You've got to, and that wasn't doing well either, but you got to disguise the threat of the pass with the run. You got to find a better way to do that. And I think Sean McVay kind of reverted back to running it with Todd Gurley, just straight ahead. We're going to be, a good run block team, and that's how we're going to operate. Did not work. The Bengals saw it coming a mile away, and they stopped the run. As far as the Bengals, I was very impressed with Joe Burrow in the first half. I was impressed with him for most of the game, really. He got sacked 7 times, 5 of which was in the third quarter. Crazy. But coming out swinging in the second half, throwing that long touchdown pass to T. Higgins. And yes, T. Higgins did face mask Jalen Ramsey. It was blatantly obvious. But Jalen Ramsey still allowed that touchdown, and he still gave up that catch to Jamar Chase.
He was getting beat a lot.
He was. And I haven't heard anything from Jalen Ramsey after the Super Bowl because I think he knows I had a terrible game. Whether it was that or the touchdown, I know it was offensive pass interference. They're letting him play. And you can make the argument later when Logan Wilson's getting called for those the holding penalties that's, a makeup call right there, and that shouldn't happen. But it was, he was grabbing Cooper Kupp at the line of scrimmage. So whether or not you want to debate the flag should have been thrown or not, those were penalties. Regardless, Jalen Ramsey had a rough game, and I haven't heard him talk since. I didn't hear him talk at the post game. He probably tweeted some stuff out, but I haven't seen him really celebrate the Super Bowl. So I'm wondering if he's like, damn, I did not play well. And, in that moment, you didn't have a great game yourself, but your team won. So it's tough. But the biggest factor in the game to me was the second half, and that the Rams, while they weren't getting anything done offensively, their defense just kept them in that game. Aaron Donald, Leonard Floyd, Von Miller. I think the Matthew Stafford trade is as equally good as the Von Miller trade because the pass rush that those two created, Von Miller and Aaron Donald, made them win every playoff game.
Yeah.
And I think that last drive was epic. They were grinding it out for most of the second half. They couldn't get anything done offensively. The defense is keeping him in the game. And Cooper Kupp was epic on that final drive. Just everything from the 4th and 1 with the reverse to him, the no-look pass that Stafford threw, catches it, to drawing the penalties, to actually making the game-winning touchdown. No, called back with the penalty. He gets laid the fuck out in the end zone and comes back and catches the fade to win the game. You could say what you want about Aaron Donald winning the game for them, but I think Cooper Kupp saved the game for them because all they needed was one touchdown. That's all they needed, and they were going to win that game because the pass rush was just way too much for the Bengals.
Dude, I was getting so frustrated. Like, I think that this Super Bowl has proven that even though you have offensive-minded head coaches like McVay and Zach Taylor, no matter who they got on their team, they can. I think the coach's value now has just skyrocketed as far as being like a guy who can manage a game and manage the clock. And I'll get to why in a second. But I'm with you. And it only took till the final drive for Sean McVay to say, you know what? We have Matt Stafford and Cooper Kupp, two guys who have just as good of a connection as anybody in the NFL, as any quarterback and wide receiver combo. I used to actually have that with like Russell Wilson and Tyler Lockett. I remember just those two. They were always with lockstep with each other, in lockstep with each other. But like Kupp was amazing. And the second half, the thing is, with those two guys, like you're not going to keep up with them for all 4 quarters. And that's also the difference with Cooper Kupp. Like Cooper Kupp, I feel like anytime I've seen him this season and I'm watching games late, he's always coming up big because he just doesn't get tired. No. Like the dude's conditioning is out of this world. And then you got Aaron Donald and Von Miller. I mean, Von Miller I'm not so sure about, but Aaron Donald, the dude's motor just keeps on going. And that's the question is the offensive line. They could stop him in the first half. They could do that all they want. But in the second half, that's when it matters. And that's when you saw Aaron Donald really start to take over. Although the Bengals are matching him on defense, I thought Logan Wilson, prior to that holding penalty, actually had a really good game. It felt like we were seeing him all over the field. Sam Hubbard, Trey Hendrickson, all those guys with the Bengals, they were very good. But Cooper Kupp was just too much to handle, and he was better than everyone in that secondary for the Bengals. They were tired to that point because they'd just been drowning them with these short yardage plays, 15-play drive to close things out. But, man, and Cooper Kupp, like after the game, did you not think, man, there's probably something wrong with there? I mean, he took a really hard hit to the head. This dude, he's making his MVP speech. I'm like, he doesn't want to look up at the lights right now. It looked like he had something going on, like not a concussion fully, but there had to have been some sort of mild symptoms or something going on with him.
I definitely thought that he was concussed after that first touchdown that was called back. And it makes you think about like everybody just laying it on the line in that game. Odell gets hurt. He actually had to leave. Stafford goes to the trainer's table and his ankle's fucked up. Joe Burrow at one point is limping off the field. And you're like, is anyone going to really just finish this game at this point? And they all did. They all toughed it out except for Odell, obviously. But yeah, I thought that Cooper Kupp made the game-winning touchdown catch, and then was going to be like have to leave the game because he's concussed. And the worst thing is that the penalty is called, and he has to make that catch again. And that was not an easy catch. That fade, I don't remember Cooper Kupp catching a fade all season, but there he is making it on Eli Apple, and
he's done that. He's done that this season before.
Has he done that? I haven't seen it. Okay. Yeah, but. Yeah, it was just incredible to me. The Bengals did a fantastic job for 3 quarters keeping Cooper Kupp away besides the touchdown in, I want to say, the first quarter or the second quarter, whatever it was. But on that final drive, just Cooper Kupp, either – I haven't seen all the all 22. Either he just got through the double teams or they just didn't, focus on him for whatever reason. They got tired. But he deserves to be MVP. I just want to talk real quick on Aaron Donald on that final drive. I thought that the Bengals were going to tie that game up as soon as Jamar Chase makes that catch and just turns Jalen Ramsey around. And you're like, they're in field goal range. They're going to tie this up. It's going to be the second Super Bowl with overtime.
Yeah.
They get that 2nd and 1. They go deep. Don't get it. 3rd and 1. I don't know why Samaje Perine's in the backfield. I understand they're disguising the run with a passing formation. I didn't like it. It's just a 3rd and 1. Give it to Joe Mixon in that situation. Just pick up the first down. You're right there. Evan McPherson can make a kick. Just give him 5-10 more yards. He's going to tie the game up. And it's one of the best. It's not a goal line stand, obviously, but it's a 1-yard stand. Aaron Donald comes in, messes Samaje Perine up. They get nothing. And then it's 4th and 1, and Aaron Donald ends the game, and it's so close to Joe Burrow, just like, tossing it to Samaje Perine, falls incomplete. It's amazing that in back-to-back games, Aaron Donald has just caused the game to end like that on the interception with Jimmy Garoppolo and then with Joe Burrow. I understand why a lot of people say he should have been MVP, but Cooper Kupp's, saved the game. Aaron Donald won it for them in the end, in my opinion.
Yeah. And where was it? That's right. The drop from Tyler Boyd in the previous drive, too, was huge.
Yep.
But I'm glad you brought up Samaje Perine, because that was my biggest question when the Niners played the Bengals. I'm watching that game. Every single 3rd down, they're bringing in Perine. He's their 3rd down back. He is their guy. But he was too stubborn. Zach Taylor was to go away from him. It's just, no, we haven't done that all season. We're going to go with what's worked. Maybe they've been good on 3rd down in those runs. I'm not sure what the numbers are. But this brings me to a larger point, because Sean McVay, sure, he won that game, but God damn it, that run game was so bad. He almost had them lose it when they shouldn't have.
Yeah.
And there has been an ongoing problem with these coaches, these Sean McVays, these Zach Taylors, these young offensive hotshots, Kyle Shanahan included, Matt LaFleur. And we talked about Mike McDaniel last week. Like, what the hell do you do in a 10-hour interview? Well, I think in all those hours that you got, maybe a couple of them are dedicated to your play design, what you feel is going to work best for the team. But the other 8 hours, it's got to be situational football. These guys have shown flaws in their head coaching game. So now I think GMs and owners, whoever hires a head coaches for whichever team, the owners do for the most part, but it could be the GM. But they got to figure out, like, hey, how do you manage a game in this situation? What would you do? Like, you need the coach that's going to make the right call. And I think, we've talked so much about these quarterbacks and, you have this head coach and this quarterback. You're going to be contending for years to come. How is anyone from the outside going to handle this? Well, the way you're going to do it is by managing the game properly. Like, I think both those coaches made those mistakes, man. And in the end, it was a well-played game on both sides. And Zach Taylor can't do anything about the offensive line just being trash and them not building that offensive line. But dude, that's exactly what I was wondering, though. Joe Mixon, 3rd down. How do you not use him? When they played the Niners, it was Joe Mixon coming off an injury. They don't want to use him as on 3rd down. But now here we are. We're in the Super Bowl, and we're still seeing it happen on 3rd down. It just doesn't make any sense to me. And why not? Didn't they try and get a pass play on the 2nd and 1? Because they got it down to the 9. And I think did they try a pass play? Yeah.
They threw it deep to T. Higgins, and it was overthrown.
Yeah, why didn't just run the ball there? It's 2nd and 1. Just run it. The play calling, it just doesn't make any the timing of them. It doesn't make any sense, man. So I think these teams, like, I know they got quarterbacks, they got head coaches, but you can rely on the players as much as you want. But sometimes these head coaches, man, I think they're going to make decisions that are going to cost some of these teams their games, especially in the playoffs.
Yeah, I agree. Joe Mixon was running really well for the most part. I think he only ended up with 11 carries. Yeah. Oh, no, 15 carries for 72 yards. I mean, for the most part, the Rams did a good job defending him. But I thought in that situation, it's just a 2nd and 1. And you have, I want to say, 2 timeouts left, at least 1 timeout left. I thought it was a good spot to do that. But at the end of the day, that's what Zach Taylor decided. And that is a problem going forward with, coaches, offensive-minded coaches. We had a problem with McVay a couple weeks ago where They couldn't end the game because guys kept fumbling, and they couldn't develop a running game to run out the clock. So he's been lucky the last 2 weeks where Aaron Donald has ended the game for him. But just talking about the Bengals real quick, I thought they were here I thought they were here a year too early. I thought that maybe the Chiefs kind of shit the bed more than them, getting the victory. But in the end, I was very impressed with the Bengals, despite the fact that their offensive line was terrible. We saw a year ago Patrick Mahomes running for his life against the Buccaneers, and they scored 9 points. The Bengals were right there with the Rams, and they had a great game plan of just quick passes to Jamar Chase or Tyler Boyd or T. Higgins. But the offensive line is a huge problem, and they need to address that. And they have a lot of cap space, so I'm sure they'll go out and get a big-time left tackle. I don't really know who's in free agency. I think Teron Armstead, maybe from the Saints, but we'll see if he leaves. They need to address that. And if they get good offensive line play, then they'll be a great team going forward. Real quick, do you know Joe Burrow's new nickname?
What, Joe Shiesty?
Okay. What is that?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm not like that connected to the younger generation. Like, I don't get what shiesty is.
Yeah. Okay. Younger generation. Let me give you some advice here. Look up what shiesty means. I'm not offended by most things, but as a Jewish guy, shiesty or shyster is not a good term. So we're just throwing that out there for Joe Burrow now, and I'm not sure I'm a fan of that. Just saying that. Yeah.
I'm looking it up.
Yeah, you never heard Frank from Always Sunny in Philadelphia, like, oh, that shiesty lawyer of mine?
No.
Yeah, it's not a good term. I don't think we should be throwing that out there for Joe Burrow.
All right.
Just saying that. I'm not offended by most things, but
it is what it is.
Yeah.
So, all right. Donald, Cup, MVP. Your thoughts?
Like I said, I thought Cup saved the game for him. So the defense was amazing. I thought Von Miller and Aaron Donald and Leonard Floyd and even Ernest Jones coming back. He stopped that, honestly, the opening drive for the Bengals. They went for it on 4th and 1, and he batted the ball down. So him coming back was huge. I thought that Aaron Donald was great. A great play in the end to win the game, but they needed a touchdown to win that game. And in the end, Cooper Kupp was getting double teamed for most of the game, and he has the 4th and 1 reverse. He catches 4 passes. He has a touchdown called back. In the end, he still makes the game-winning touchdown. I agree with what they had in the end, that Cooper Kupp was deserving of MVP.
Yeah. See, if I were to take away, and this is going down to the 4th quarter, let's just take, we gotta factor in everything that happens throughout the game. But I'm thinking, if I'm on that final drive and I'm the Rams on defense and I don't have Aaron Donald, I'm still thinking I can get a stop just because the offensive line has not been that good and they've proven that they're going to give up sacks to anybody. But without Cooper Kupp on that final drive, you're not scoring.
Yep.
You're not winning that game without Cooper Kupp. You're not winning that game without your quarterback's number one guy. I think they said they worked for like 500 hours outside of like the regimen that they normally go with.
How's that possible? 500 hours?
500 extra hours. Either way, that's still a lot of damn work. That's why.
Yeah, but that sounds like a gross amount of time. That's
maybe,
not possible.
But I think it's possible. I mean, these guys probably don't do anything. Like, you think
500 hours during 500 days of summer? How's that possible?
Yes, I think it's very possible. I think it is. I think these guys are football nuts, and and that no look pass doesn't happen without all that extra work.
Yeah,
so
true.
Without Cooper Kupp, to me, they're not winning this game at all, seeing how this thing played out. Now, Aaron Donald, he might be the MVP of the team. I don't know, just because of how, Matt Stafford's probably there, Cooper Kupp too. But in that game, without Cooper Kupp in that final drive, you're not winning it. So to me, the MVP was justified. I also won some money off of it, so I'm good.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
And we'll get into some prop bets later that we talked about the last episode. But just overall, I feel bad for the Bengals, but they'll be back. The Rams needed to win this game. You know how much of a shitstorm it would have been if, Matthew Stafford doesn't get it done again. Sean McVay loses another Super Bowl. They hosted the Super Bowl in L.A. and didn't get it done. Now they can just exhale. And I usually don't watch a lot of NFL films now, but I want to watch this because I want to hear what the reaction was when Odell was gone. Because in most situations, you'd be like, there's no way we can win now. They're taking away Cooper Kupp. We don't have Tyler Higbee. We have no running game. How are we going to win this game now? Most teams would have been like, shit, we can't do this. And it's such a resilient win. Like
Yeah.
it's probably one of the more impressive wins I've seen in quite some time, where the Rams, as loaded as they are, have just numerous injuries, and they were able to overcome them in the end to do what they needed to do. And I feel bad because in the end, it's like, oh, the Rams did what they were supposed to do. They were supposed to win. But God, that's such a weight lifted off their shoulders. As Steve Young said back in '94, the monkey's off my back. I'm happy for Matthew Stafford. I know a lot of people give him a lot of shit just because he didn't win in Detroit. People think he thinks that he's average. He panicked definitely after Odell got hurt, throwing that pass to Van Jefferson that Jesse Bates intercepted.
The Cooper Kupp pass even to Matt Stafford. That just goes to show that him and McVay both were desperate at the time.
They were, and that's why I think Cooper Kupp winning it for him justifies the MVP.
Yeah,
because they're looking for any life of offense, and they got it in the end. But I'm happy for Matthew Stafford.
I also bet on a quarterback to have a reception in this game, and it didn't happen. He was wide open. God damn it, Kupp. Put the ball down, huh?
Yeah, who's the last one to get that? Nick Foles?
I don't know. I don't know.
It has to be. Well, it has to be because Tom Brady dropped one in that same Super Bowl, and then Nick Foles caught his.
There's had to have been another one, wasn't there?
Since that time? I don't think so.
There had to have been another quarterback that caught a reception.
In the Super Bowl?
Yeah, come on. There has to have been one.
No, we act like it's a common occurrence. Quarterbacks don't catch passes.
True.
Okay. But just as far as Matthew Stafford, I'm happy for the dude. He's been through a lot of shit. However long he was in Detroit, Detroit fans showed up. They were happy for him. I'm happy for him. I don't know why he's getting all this hate now of, oh, is he a Hall of Famer or not?
Because of Richard Sherman.
Well,
that's why. What do you know? Former Seahawk and former 49er doesn't think the Rams quarterback is good enough to be in the Hall of Fame. Shocker.
Okay, well, let's play this, this first take debate. Do you think he's a Hall of Famer at this point?
I actually don't know. I don't
know either, and I honestly don't care. I don't care. I just think this is a good, solid win for him.
Yeah.
He has as much Super Bowls right now as Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson. So I'm putting him in the same category as those guys. And I know people are going to say, oh, my God, what? Listen, Matthew Stafford, he throws a lot of picks. I get that. But you cannot tell me that he is a monumental upgrade over Jared Goff, who I do feel sorry for this weekend because you got to think like shit. They traded me away a year ago, and they went it with this guy just like that. I'm happy. I'm just happy for Matthew Stafford. I think this is justification for him being a good quarterback. And while it was an up and down game, and he threw 2 interceptions, in the end, he won the game for them. He threw 3 touchdown passes. He has a monumental, epic, game-winning touchdown drive that will look back in history. Like I was saying about the NFL films, I would love to see what their reaction was. I've seen a little bit with Sean McVay just like freaking out on the sideline, being like, oh, Donald's going to win it for us. Oh, God, where's Peter Schrager? But I am happy for Sean McVay because he gets a lot of shit, too, for being like, is he phony? Is he just doing stuff for the cameras? He's a beautiful mind when it comes to football, and I'm happy he got it. The youngest head coach ever to win a Super Bowl. I'm happy for the Rams. I know Niner fans are going to throw up over this. My feeling is I didn't feel this way when the Broncos won in 2015. When your team's not in it, you're just being a bitter fan at this point. That's my opinion. So when your hated rival wins the Super Bowl or the World Series or the NBA Finals, you just got to deal with it. I didn't like it when the Lakers won the NBA Finals a couple years ago. I'm sure Giants fans hated when the Dodgers won. But you didn't make it. So at this point, you have nothing to complain about.
Yeah, it's also sports. Like,
yeah,
okay.
I know. It's
okay if the other team wins. Like, it's fine. Your life is gonna go on. Worry about other shit, like what that smell is in your apartment. Like, but nah, man. There's not many guys on that team you look at and you think, oh, they don't deserve that with what they've been through in their career. Von Miller. I know he won one in Denver, like you said, but after that,
the amount of quarterback play that was going through Denver, the amount of crappy picks that John Elway was making in company, like he hasn't had a good team built around him. OBJ has gone through everything, including guys like me who have gone off and said, that's time when he was proposing to the net or whatever, and all that stuff. Remember that when the net hit him in the head with the field goal kicking net?
Yeah,
all that stuff. He's overcome all of that, and he ended up being a Super Bowl champion. And after going to the Browns to be with his best friend, and then maybe Baker Mayfield just not having it work out. I don't know. I'm just happy for him.
I didn't like that he set it up with his dad though, making all those media, social media videos. But yeah,
Cooper Kupp. Happy with him. Aaron Donald, happy for him. Andrew Whitworth, happy for him.
Yep. I can't confirm that he's retiring. I don't know about McVay and Aaron Donald, but that guy's retiring.
Yeah, no doubt that guy's retiring. I don't think Sean McVay is either, by the way. I think he's just trying to play everybody.
Hold on. That story was ridiculous. He basically just said, I'm looking forward to my life after football because I'm going to have a wife soon and kids. Let's not react like he's going to retire this upcoming season. Good Lord.
I my ex-roommate just asked, what's that smell in our apartment? Go to the beginning of the podcast and you'll find out. But yeah, man, there's not many guys on that team who I dislike. Jalen Ramsey, he comes off as a jerk, and he did end up getting beaten that game. But he's always been able to back it up. And plus, his stock went up a little bit more in my book when he was in Jackass Forever. So, it is what it is, man. It was a good Super Bowl. It was a good Super Bowl overall.
Great game to a great season, the longest we ever had. A lot of fun, close playoff games. I think it was a great ending. So this begs the question: we don't know what's going on with Aaron Rodgers, if he's coming back to Green Bay. Although we have some latest news, we'll get to that later. We don't know what's going on with Brady really at this point either, because he says he's retired, but then he goes back and forth with Jim Gray every week. If the NFC is up for grabs and these guys leave, I think the Rams are going to dominate even more. And we always say this because, the Super Bowl team gets even better after the next season. We thought that with the Buccaneers because they were getting all their guys back. But with the Rams, I think they get even better. And I know Niner fans don't want to hear that because they'll go into a transition year with Trey Lance. So you don't know what you're going to get. But I think Matthew Stafford gets even better because he learns this offense even more. He gets comfortable with the receivers in year 2. He gets Robert Woods back. And the Odell injury sucks. He probably will miss most of the 2023 season or 2022 season. But
you never can tell with these guys. Like Cam Akers came back after getting hurt in the summer. So
exactly. You never know. But I would assume that he's probably going to be on the PUP list to start the season off, and he'll come back November, December. And that's great because they'll get Robert Woods back, who's slated to come back for minicamp. And they don't really need him right away. And I'm going to assume that now the Rams are like, Odell, you tore your ACL. Do you really want to go and rehab with another team in the offseason? Do you really want to go do that with – who's going to pay you at this point? You're coming off 2 torn ACLs. Come back to the Rams. We'll help you out. We'll be a great team. We won't rush you back. We won't rely on you like that. And I think the same thing's for Von Miller, where he's like, if you saw on the postgame show, he was like, why would I leave LA at this point? Now he's going to test free agency like everybody does. But I think both of those guys come back. They got to get Joe Noteboom signed because he's going to be the starting left tackle going forward. I think the Rams are going to be even better in 2022.
I'm too scared to make any NFC predictions for next year.
That's fair.
In me being scared, meaning I'm scared of being wrong and making too many snap judgments because I do that all the time and I don't want to be wrong again and it's annoying.
Hey, I'm wrong all the time, man. It's it.
I said the Twins were going to go to the World Series. That's neither here nor there. We're in last. So
what year?
This year. So last year, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, I don't know about the Packers. I don't know about the Buccaneers because I don't know if Brady's coming back. I don't know where Brady's going to go. Dallas, don't know. The Rams, maybe, but you never know.
Yeah, you're sure.
The Cardinals, don't know what's going on with Kyler Murray. The Niners, I like the talent that they got on their team, but it all depends on how Trey Lance goes, and depends how long it takes him to develop. I think he could get it done by the end of the season and, maybe get their way to the playoffs again. The Eagles, Saints, Vikings, Commanders, maybe. Commanders could have a good quarterback by the end of this with the 11th pick in the draft. You never know with the Commanders. Seahawks, Falcons, Bears, whatever, Panthers, whatever, Giants. I don't know. Maybe Brian Dable brings the best out of Daniel Jones. Like, I'm too scared to make any sort of predictions for the NFC just because of how much of the NFL is a year-to-year league.
Yeah.
The AFC, I'm confident in, just because I know they have their quarterbacks. NFC, it's all way too much up in the air. Way too much up in the air. You never know.
No, I'm with you. So yeah, in the end, it was a great Super Bowl, and we'll see what happens with football going forward with the Rams, Bengals, all the teams. But staying with the Super Bowl halftime show, just give me your thoughts right away, Stephen. What'd you think?
It was good. It was good.
Not great. Not the best of all time.
No. No. Has nobody seen? Has nobody seen Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg perform that song before? Has nobody seen Eminem perform "Lose Yourself" before? Has nobody seen 50 Cent perform "In the Club" before?
Okay,
yes, because it's all happened 1,000 times the past 30 years.
Okay, real quick on 50 Cent. That was a rumor, and we nailed it because I brought it up last episode.
Yeah.
50 Cent is not the same man he used to be.
Yeah.
He's still got some muscles, but it's more like, when you hit 40 and it's kind of a mix of fat and muscle.
Yeah. My favorite joke that I saw was, oh, wow, 50 Cent turned into $1.
That's pretty good.
Like he really does look twice the 50 Cent that he was back in those days.
How long what's the longest, and you may not even know this answer, but how long can you stay upside down for without being like, oh my God, I got to throw up?
Oh, sheesh. Maybe a couple of minutes. I don't know.
Which begs the question, how long was 50 Cent dangling there just being like, okay, God, let's just get to go.
He got up.
Shorty.
He got up on there. Like he did it himself. He got up.
I know, but like how long was he dangling there while Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg were performing?
I'm saying as they were introducing him, he got up.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, before the camera could get to him.
Oh, so it wasn't a long thing where he was just like, oh, God, the blood is rushing to my head right now.
Yeah. No, the camera work, everything on it was really cool, but we've seen these performances before. I thought Mary J. Blige was awesome. Anderson .Paak, watching him drum with that big smile on his face.
Just drumming.
Kendrick Lamar, I wouldn't mind an entire Kendrick Lamar halftime show because he was sick. And also, my prop, total amount of headliners to wear sunglasses at halftime. Snoop comes out with sunglasses. All right, that's one. I guess two. Snoop comes out with sunglasses. Dr. Dre, none. Mary J. Blige, none. Eminem, none. 50 Cent, none. Kendrick Lamar, sunglasses. Nice. Two. Prop bet one.
There you go.
Happened. But no, man, it was good. I mean, and I think I overreacted to it at first because I was like, that was amazing. But then I thought about it. I was like, it's nothing really special there. I mean, we've seen all those performances before.
Yeah.
Like Kendrick singing all right. And, it was cool. I thought the Tupac hologram was going to pop up.
I thought so too.
I sent you that Sway thing.
Yeah, I saw that. I thought that as soon as they started playing I Am Mad at You on the piano, I thought he was going to pop up in the Cadillac.
Yeah.
And somehow was going to move while he was driving, but thank God that didn't happen. Listen, yes, it was a very rushed performance because they had to do it within 20 minutes. And you had to squeeze in as many songs as possible. Mary J. Blige played the two songs that everybody knows her for. Eminem, of course, comes out to Lose Yourself. I would have mind hearing something else, but people love Lose Yourself. Kendrick Lamar, I was surprised he didn't play Humble, but it was nice to hear something else. And I would have liked to hear more of Kendrick Lamar. But it was rushed, but it was good. For as many acts that were in that performance, I liked it. I liked the creativity with Dr. Dre doing the mixing board and kind of orchestrating the whole thing. Snoop, everyone's making the big deal about him smoking before the performance. Fuck it, get over it, okay? It was going to happen. Yeah. I think the big headline should be the next day after the Super Bowl that Snoop Dogg comes out with a song where he's rapping over the Curb Your Enthusiasm beat that you showed me.
Yeah.
Sick. Curb Your Enthusiasm is a fantastic song. And it's goofy because he's rapping over the song with the Curb Your Enthusiasm theme, but I fucking love it. Just okay for you?
No, it was good, man. It was just like it it was just all so rushed in the spectacle of it, though, and
Yeah.
and it was nostalgic for a lot of people because I saw like on social media, it's like for the people who are 35 and over, this means so much. I also saw people who say for the people who are 30 and over, it means so much. I also
Yeah.
saw people who were born 1996 and before, this means a lot. And I think that speaks to just how their music had spanned across all generations. Now, you could make the argument that Lose Yourself and In the Club were more popular than whatever Dre and Snoop made because Eminem
Probably.
and 50 were more mainstream than those two guys. Whereas listening to Dre and Snoop, it was cool. It was kind of more,
Yeah.
it was mainstream, but at the same time, it was kind of underground too. So
Yeah.
I do respect it for that. But it's not like they did anything new, not like they did anything we haven't seen before. I have seen Eminem walk out onto the stage in a hood performing Lose Yourself. I have seen Kendrick do a number with a dance crew singing All Right. I've seen him do it at the Grammys. He's amazing at it. We've seen Dr. Dre and Snoop perform what they performed. Mary J. Blige is just an amazing performer anyway. One who really impressed me, I got to say this, it wasn't just like the halftime show, but the national anthem. Didn't really know what to expect from Mickey Guyton, but damn.
She was good.
The rendition she had on the national anthem, it was sick.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I liked it. I thought it was great, but of course, people immediately say, like, was it better than Prince? Was it better than Paul McCartney? Was it better than Rolling Stones? I don't remember, really, to be honest. I remember Prince coming out and then rained a little bit with Purple Rain, and his guitar shaped like a penis, looked like a penis, in the silhouette. But, I mean, in comparison to other halftime shows, I don't even remember what The Weeknd did last year. I remember the Mirrors, but I remember it being kind of shitty, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I thought it was fun. It was very LA. It fit the theme. I like seeing hip hop at the Super Bowl when they were so uptight in years past. Since Janet Jackson flashed the boob, they were kind of like, no, let's keep it, nice and family friendly. Even though some people were upset that 50 Cent in the club song says, I'm here having sex, I'm here to making love. Like, it's just, that's the radio edit, people. Like, listen to the actual lyrics of the original version. I was surprised no one dropped a fuck at all. They kept it family friendly. And overall, I just like seeing the kind of the grandfathers of hip hop do their thing. And it was fun. I enjoyed it. You're right. It wasn't anything I haven't seen before, but it was just a nice new take on the Super Bowl halftime show.
It is pretty, and maybe it was educational for not, people, like I mentioned, the people born before 1996, the people that are 30 years old, the people that are 35, maybe not for them, but I think it was a good education on just how influential Dr. Dre has been in the hip hop game. Like,
he's the best.
Every one of those guys he's made. Snoop Dogg turned into a star. 50 turned into a star. Eminem turned into a star. Kendrick turned into a star. Anderson .Paak on the drums.
Yep.
He was first featured in the Compton album.
Yep.
Where he turned into a star. And now I want to see Silk Sonic next year. That's I don't care where it is. I know we always want to do the location thing. Huh?
It's going to be in Arizona, and I can't think of any artist from Arizona. So that's
Silk
a good call.
Sonic it is. Silk Sonic, come on down. Let's
Book
go. Leave the door open for them. We're going to smoke out the window, and we're all going to be Also Fly. I forgot the damn name of the song. Fly is Us. Anyway, whatever.
Yeah, something like
Silk
that.
Sonic next
Well,
year.
hold on. They have that song. They have that song about Vegas. Should we save them for Vegas then next year?
No, need it now.
All right.
Silk Sonic every year from now on, actually.
Okay. Book them every year. Every year. It'll never get old.
Yeah, yeah. But I'm not putting it. I don't want to say it's the best halftime show ever because music is so subjective, man. Everyone has a differing opinion on it, so it's like I can't call it the best halftime show ever, objectively.
Yeah, I remember U2 after 9/11 was pretty powerful. I remember
when they had all the names and stuff on the projector.
Yep.
Yeah.
I remember NSYNC with Britney Spears and Nelly, and at the time that was the biggest thing. I wouldn't say it was amazing, but it was. Oh, Aerosmith too. Aerosmith was a part of that. So we've had some good halftime shows before, no doubt.
Michael Jackson. I didn't watch it live, but I go back and I just marvel at the fact that he stood still for 5 minutes just looking at the crowd.
Yeah. I mean, we're also hyped up in the moment nowadays, so we have to say everything's the greatest of all time. it was the
Yeah.
GOAT of Super Bowl halftime shows. I wouldn't say that, but I would say it was fun and it was new, and I hope they keep having more hip hop in the halftime shows. So having somebody like Dr. Dre, like who doesn't do a lot of stuff anymore, like he'll produce music here or there. The 2 songs he did for the Grand Theft Auto soundtrack are pretty good. I heard them coming home from the Super Bowl, but just having him participate in something like that, I thought was pretty special. So hopefully it gets more artists that are more reserved these days and don't want to be doing stuff. They come out and want to do a big spectacular thing.
It's also a nice plug for their new albums. Snoop Dogg just came out with one. Mary J. Blige just came out with
Yeah,
one.
that's true.
It's a very good plug.
Do you know collectively what all artists made from that Super Bowl halftime show?
No.
If you had a guess, what did Dr. Dre, what did Snoop Dogg, what did Eminem, what did Mary J. Blige, Kendrick Lamar, 50 Cent, what did all of them make for performing at halftime?
I'm just going to go with a high number, 50 million.
Good guess. The answer for all Super Bowl halftime performances, artists, they get paid nothing. It's just, do you want to do it? Cool. You're going to have major publicity for this, and that's all you need. They
Yeah,
get paid
true.
nothing.
Yeah, it's the exposure. It's
Yeah.
the exposure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what the festivals do. Sometimes they don't even. Sometimes the festivals they make the bands and the artists all pay for their setup just because, like, you're getting so much of that exposure there. So that makes sense. I don't know why I guess
Yeah.
50 million. I'm like 10 million each person. Jesus, easy there, Steve.
Well, on the flip side, we're talking about the commercials now. I'm sure every commercial costs $50 million, or I don't even know how much. It's probably a ridiculous amount. But real quick, Steven, commercials, what do you think of them?
I am going to be a terrible contributor to this one.
Didn't pay attention to them?
No, the commercials, I'm over them, dude. Like,
That's fair. That's fair.
the good ones all come out on social media before, and I dodged
do.
all of them.
Yeah,
but
they
I
do.
watched them, and I was like, besides the NFL one, the NFL animation one was freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Larry
It's
David.
hard to compare that one. Remember the Super Bowl commercial, or not Super Bowl? Well, it was Super Bowl commercial, but the NFL one where the ball was running around a
It
couple
was
years
the
ago.
NFL 100
Yes.
thing.
That was great.
Yeah, but the commercials they don't hit the same anymore. I don't know what it is, man. Like normally I'm locked in. Like, yeah, I got to watch every second of this. Like, my favorite one from a couple of years ago was that was it a Hyundai commercial with John Krasinski and Chris Evans where they're Boston people, and it's just like,
Yeah, that was good.
It was Smart Pack. Like,
Yeah,
so,
Smart Park and Park the Car, Boston Yard.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. Did you have a favorite one? I mean, obviously you're a big Seinfeld fan, so I'm sure the Larry David crypto one really got you.
Well, okay. Like I said before, I'm not a big crypto guy. I don't get it. The fucking thing and dancing around the TV, the thing that we all had to use the QR code for, I was not a fan of. And I'm sure old people like me in Boca Raton were all like, what the hell's wrong with my TV right now?
I was so excited when it hit the corner, though.
Why?
Because, man, it just brings you back to those days of seeing that DVD.
Pong?
DVD?
Oh,
No,
the DVD. Yeah.
the DVD thing. And when it hit
Yeah.
the corner, I was like, "Ugh, let's go." I didn't even pay attention to the QR code. I was just waiting for it to hit the corner. Finally, it did. Oh, jacked up.
I did like the Larry David crypto commercial, even though it was for crypto. But I do like the idea of him just being like, that sucks, which I'm, kind of like that.
Yeah.
I did like Arnold Schwarzenegger and Selma Hayek in their commercial. It was very goofy where he's Zeus. The Meadow Soprano car commercial I thought was kind of weird because at first I was like, what's going on here? Are we getting a spit off with Meadow and AJ?
Yeah.
And thank God it wasn't. And they were just driving through New Jersey for a car commercial. So that was nice. I love them when Seth Rogen and Paul Rudd are together. So the Lay's commercial was fun. I'm not a big fan of recreating characters of classic movies. Like, I liked it. Obviously, we love The Big Lebowski. So when Jeff Bridges did the Stella Artois commercial a couple years ago, I thought it was fun.
Artois. Please don't.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Did you just say Artois?
But that's what he said in the commercial, though.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Never mind. Sorry.
What, you think I'm some fucking idiot here?
Yeah.
So
Dr. Evil one didn't do it for you?
no, I thought that was like just Mike Myers clinging to an old character he did back in the day. On the flip side,
I had the
I
same
liked-
reaction as I did to 50 Cent with that one. I was like, geez, Mike Myers
Basically.
Myers got big.
well, he did, and also I'm like, are we
His head
asking for,
turned really round.
yeah. I mean, between the people that performed at halftime show, like, where has 50 Cent been the last 10 years? Is he still making music?
Power.
Oh, he's producing that. Yeah.
He's
okay.
focused on TV, man, and calling people out on Instagram and having one of the funniest social media accounts out there.
Really?
He's hilarious on social
Okay,
media.
all right.
Yeah, his
I
Instagram
saw
is great.
I saw a couple years ago. The last time I saw 50 Cent was he was at NASCAR trying to get a kiss from Erin Andrews. She was like, "No thanks."
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Well, I didn't like Mike Myers as Dr. Evil, and they were trying to recreate Mini Me, and I'm like, Ferd Troyer's dead. Don't do that.
Actually, that's
I
a good point. I didn't even think about that. That's
Yeah.
yeah.
I did like Jim Carrey as the cable guy again. I did think that was funny just because we live in a new age where we don't need cable anymore. So him just being like, "Oh, my job is worthless now," I thought was kind of funny. Eugene Levy as the action star was kind of funny. And the Jones commercial where it's Leslie Jones, Tommy Lee Jones, Rashida Jones, all driving cars, I thought was kind of funny. In the end, Nick Jonas pops in. He's like, "Hey, I'm not a Jones, but I'm a Jonas." And I thought it was just funny that Tommy Lee Jones was like, "All right, you can hang with us, whoever you are." So for the most part, commercials are lame. I think it's more so for like to show like what movies are coming out now. Like we saw the first peek at Jordan Peele's new movie, Nope, which looks pretty interesting.
That looks
Yeah.
dude, saw the teaser trailer prior to the game. I
Yep.
didn't know it was going to be on the game or whatever.
Yeah.
I was like, what the? I watched it 3 different times. I was like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
And I looked up the I wanted to look on Wikipedia to see what like genre it would be or whatever. It was like science fiction western horror thriller.
But I'm sure no one knows like what it's about. So they're just like guessing. Like at this point,
No
probably
clue.
aliens, maybe horse people. Like
Yeah.
sorry to bother you.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But yeah, for the most part, the commercials, like I don't know what research people do now and ad agencies with like, we got to have a talking animal. We got to have people getting hit in the nuts. Like it's just the same shit over and over again.
It's played
But
out.
It's played out. It is played out.
Now you're just reminding me with the sorry to bother you because we went to see that in the theater together.
We did. We did.
When we walked out of that, we were like, what the fuck did we just watch?
That was the most, and I still love that movie just because I love Boots Riley and the coup. It was made in Oakland, so I wanted to see the movie, and it's an interesting concept for a movie. But yeah, if you haven't seen it by now, spoiler alert: the big thing is that horse people happen at the end of the movie, and I've never seen it with you, my buddy Dan, and I think all of us in that was like the most like jaw dropping thing I've ever seen in a movie theater. Where all were just like, "What the fuck is this?"
Out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts. Real quick, Steven, did you notice how quickly NBC got the fuck out of there on the post-game show?
Like, you mean like transitioning to the
the
next
Olympics?
thing? Yeah.
Did you think that
Kinda
was weird?
Yeah,
It
I
was
thought
very
so
weird.
too. I mean, I didn't think much of it, but it did cross my mind. I'm glad you mentioned that. Like, damn, Maria Taylor already to the Olympics? Oh, okay. I guess we'll have to watch man bobbing or whatever it's called. What is it? Mono bob?
Whatever it was. It was a very quick, like, in the end, they interviewed Aaron Donald, and I thought it was funny. Aaron Donald's crying, and he's emotional, and he's like, I waited my whole life for this moment. And then they go to Matthew Stafford, and they're like, Matthew Stafford, you win the Super Bowl. You've been in Detroit for all your career. What do you think? It was a good team victory. Gave it 110%, just giving like the whole, coach speak thing.
Yeah.
But then when they went to the podium, it was Sean McVay, the owner of the Rams, Stan Kroenke, and the MVP, Cooper Kupp. And at that moment, you usually get like more like, let's talk to Von Miller. He's won 2. Let's talk to Matthew Stafford again. Let's talk to Aaron Donald again. And those guys looked like they were ready to go and talk. And then just got out of there as quickly as possible. Mike Tirico was like, all right, I don't know how much we paid for the Olympics. We paid more for the Super Bowl, so we're going to them right now. And at that point, I'm like, the Olympics can be shown on Peacock. Like, let's enjoy the Super Bowl. Let's keep that going a little bit. Like, I thought it was just super rushed. I thought Al Michaels had to say his goodbyes super fast too. Michelle Tafoya's done with NBC. We don't know what's going on with Al Michaels. It sounds like he's done. Yes. Thank you.
What the
I
hell is
have-
happening?
I have the sriracha. I'm ready to do this. Just gonna pour a little
Oh
on my
man!
gonna pour a little on my finger if I can. Oh
Shout
wait.
out to Michelle Tafoya finding a new gig. Now
Yep.
going to help a Republican governor run for president. There you go.
Yeah, good for her, I guess.
Gotta help the community.
Yeah.
What is it? What is it? The Republican candidate for the governor of Minnesota or something like that? That's the most random thing I'd ever read.
Yeah, she doesn't want to report anymore. Hey, whatever you want to do, spending your time now, not on TV, go for it.
You know,
Um,
and you know what's also interesting too about the broadcast is they didn't really. Maybe I just wasn't paying attention. Did they have like a send off for Al Michaels or Chris Collinsworth?
They did not.
I mean,
They just
the most they did was the final slide where Chris Collinsworth really tried to, you know, it's gonna be a fun Super Bowl, but like, you know,
was-
they
He
didn't
was
make much of it.
containing his Bengals fandom for most of the show.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Steven. I could swallow a whole bottle of sriracha. This is.
I
this is
know
too
you
much for me.
can. You
Yeah, I'm
eat
sorry.
you eat Wingstop Atomic Wings
For fun.
voluntarily.
No, I know. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you weird. It's fine. I don't have a problem with it.
The traffic for the Super Bowl was enough punishment for me.
Yes, there you go.
And when we do Oscar picks, we'll do this all over again. So I'm sure I'll lose that. Since you beat me, what was the bet we had a couple years ago where you thought Rami Malek was going to win for
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Bohemian Rhapsody, and he did. And I thought not Adam McKay. Well, it was an Adam McKay movie. Christian Bale was going to win for Vice, and I was wrong. So I had to give you like money back then.
God,
Um,
losers betting on Oscar picks. Good God.
I know. Hey, we'll do it again because we got nothing
Yeah.
else to do on this podcast.
I've watched a half hour of The Power of the Dogs. That's it.
And turn it off.
No, I just didn't have time. I had to be on the phone and do a bunch of other things, but I caught a
Was
half
it-
hour of it.
Was it boring?
I wouldn't say it was boring. It felt like it was slow. It started off slow and it's setting up for something good. Very well shot, very beautiful landscape. Benedict Cumberbatch is a cowboy. I never thought I'd see it. He's making his presence felt as the best actor nomination and the antagonist in the movie or protagonist. We'll see.
Oh,
But
I still need to watch
Kirsten
it.
Dunst and Jesse Plemons in it. Nice little chemistry they got between them two, considering they're married. So good stuff.
I'll check it out one of these days.
Hmm.
No, they did not do anything for Al Michaels, and the rumor is that he's going to go to Amazon Prime with Troy Aikman for a shit ton of money, and that will be your lineup for Thursday Night Football next season.
Yeah, well, I mean, sucks for them that they're going to get the crappiest games.
You think so? I don't think so.
Yeah, I guess Thursday night actually wasn't that bad this past year, but I remember
No,
there was a
they're
stretch of
upgrading.
Thursday night games that were bad one year.
in the past, yeah, but now they've. I think now that everything's going to be. I mean, that will be on a streaming platform. Monday Night Football is going to go to ESPN and ABC, so they'll upgrade. And we'll see. You may see if Troy Aikman leaves Fox, you may see Sean Payton on Fox broadcast with Joe Buck going forward. That's the rumor.
Great.
You don't like that?
No, it's going to be like Drew Brees, just a non-factor to me. I don't need that guy on the
Well, you may get that too because we don't know what's going on with Collinsworth. I'm sure they want to put Drew Brees with Mike Tirico on the broadcast going forward.
Drew Brees, who is a good dude but doesn't have an ounce of personality with him. He's all football, and I can't stand it.
All right. Okay. Just your opinion, man.
It is just
Let's get into some of the off-season QB carousel stuff real quick, Steven.
Ooh.
So now the Super Bowl is over.
Uh-huh.
This is free agency time.
Uh-huh.
And this is where I kind of give in to all the Twitter bullshit and talk about all the rumors and everything that's going to happen or what we think is going to happen.
Mhm.
Free agency doesn't happen for another month. Exactly a month from yesterday, teams can start negotiating with free agents. So it's going to be a fun time. And we'll see how many teams are going to copy the Rams and go after quarterbacks. And there was a report today from Sports Illustrated that the Eagles, Washington Commanders, the Denver Broncos, and did I already say Philadelphia Eagles?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes, you did.
Well, a plethora of teams are going to try to do the same thing, by going after a big name quarterback that may be on a shitty team or whatever situation they're in and try to get a quarterback to change their chances for the 2022 season.
Right.
And the biggest one out there we keep hearing from last season is Aaron Rodgers. Everything's set up for him to go to the Denver Broncos. He's got the coach. He's tweeted out last season that this is the last dance. There's rumors, last season that he hates the GM and, Ted Thompson and wants to change things. And now everything's changed. Ian Rappaport is reporting that the Packers are prepared to make Aaron Rodgers the highest paid quarterback in football. They're on good terms now. Everything is copacetic. They're going to try to extend Devontae Adams. I don't know how the hell they're going to do this because their cap situation is terrible. And you think at this point, if you haven't won with Aaron Rodgers, maybe it's time to end things. Maybe it's time to get some value for him and send him to the Broncos. But it sounds as if, from everything that's being reported, maybe they're just trying to get this out there so Aaron Rodgers thinks twice about wanting to go to Denver or retire, that they're prepared to make him the highest paid quarterback for at least 2 more seasons and just keep Jordan Love winning in the wings.
I mean, if you had a reigning MVP who's won it 2 years in a row and you don't make that guy an extension, you're stupid if you don't do that. Dude's a good quarterback. And you just trade him for the Broncos. Hey, yeah, let's get some draft picks. And you know what? Give us Drew Lock. We'll be okay with it. We'll have Jordan Love and Drew Lock. Those will be the 2 quarterbacks moving forward. Like, come on. I mean, of course they're going to try and offer Aaron Rodgers that extension. Just depends on what he wants to do. I could see him staying in Green Bay. Easily see him staying in Green Bay. I don't really, but he's also, I don't know. Like, I don't know with Rodgers. I don't know with him.
It's a beautiful mystery.
My biggest one is what's going to happen with Russell Wilson? Like, is he going to remain in Seattle? What's going on with him? He's just 2 years in a row we've seen him sit next to Roger Goodell in the Super Bowl, which is weird in itself.
Yeah.
Like, why, Russell? Are you choosing to hang out with the commissioner of the NFL? You weirdo. So, but
how dare you like your boss like that?
I know, right? But come on, out of all the people that you could sit with, and he's probably over it, but they could talk football, and that was my Russell Wilson impression. But I don't know what's going to happen with him, man. Like, that's my question. What's going to happen with Russell Wilson? That's the biggest one for me.
The outcomes, dare I say, are unlimited.
Unlimited.
Yeah, so, he's corny as hell.
You want to know something, Money Man? I saw the report earlier. Did you see this? And this, I don't know if you count this even as a report. How much stock do you put into when a writer says one executive told me, or one scout told me, or one GM thinks this about a certain player? Like, how much stock do you put into that?
Not a whole lot. I don't put a lot of stock into any of these reports right now because they all end up not happening. So
the one that I saw that was laughable was quarterback options for the Commanders. It was from Washington's writer, whose name is escaping me right now. If you want to really search for it, go look it up. But that's how you credit someone right there. But he talks about Rodgers, Wilson, Deshaun Watson, and he talks about Derek Carr, and then he talks about Jimmy Garoppolo. And the quote from the article is, one executive told me that if none of those quarterbacks before are willing to go to Washington, they'd be willing to give up a number 11 overall pick in order to bring Jimmy to the Washington Commanders because he is a, quote, functional starting quarterback, which is hard to find in this league. And I'm like, teams can't be that desperate that they're trying to go after Jimmy Garoppolo for a first rounder. I'd rather just try and build my team in the next couple of years than try and get Jimmy for a first rounder.
I'd rather draft Kenny Pickett at 11 than trade that pick for Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy's going to get traded. It may happen in the next few weeks here. We'll see. I don't think for a second that the Commanders, the Commanders are going to trade their 11th overall pick for Jimmy Garoppolo. At best, Jimmy Garoppolo is getting traded for a late first-round pick, and I have a hard time believing that, or a second-round pick. And I think the best spot for him is Pittsburgh. We talked about it before. I also think that Kyle, knowing Daniel Snyder, having worked in the Washington organization, can't, deep down inside, feel good about sending him to Washington. I know that they're desperate for a quarterback. They're going to talk about it. There has to be a moment where Jimmy's like, hey, Kyle, Washington's on the table. You worked with Daniel Snyder. Should I go there? And he's like, God, no. We're not going to send you there. Don't worry about that. I'm not going to send you to Washington.
We respect you too much to do that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Even though that Daniel Snyder was just like, get Trent Williams out of here. I can't deal with it anymore. Go to San Francisco. I can't think for a second that Kyle is going to think that that's a good idea for Jimmy. I think he's going to Pittsburgh.
Okay.
And I don't think he's going for a first-round pick.
No.
To go back to the other thing you brought up with Russell Wilson, I still don't think that he's going to get traded. I really don't. I think that how could you leave that situation in Seattle? I know the offensive line sucks, but their cap situation's better this season, so they could get a better left tackle or entire offensive line. Who knows?
Yeah.
You're not going to find better receivers than DK Metcalf or Tyler Lockett. I don't see Russell Wilson getting traded. I really don't. It's always like we'll see, my agent's putting out, I could like these other teams. Just stop, dude. You have a good situation in Seattle. You just had your first losing season in your whole career. You'll be fine. Just stop.
So how do you think this is going to play out? Because let's just take the picks 1 to 11. Commanders are at the 11th spot.
Mm-hmm.
And every time I say Commanders, I'm kind of a Galaxy Quest nerd, so I can't help but think of Commander Taggart, Tim Allen. Shout out to him. I don't know why I think that every time I talk about
Never give it up, never surrender.
Exactly. Well, you got Jacksonville, number 1 pick. Seems like they got their guy.
Evan
Jared Goff, Detroit Lions. They got the number 2 pick. Is he going to be their guy? I guess so.
You're talking quarterback wise. Yes. Okay.
Yes. Houston Texans. They do need a quarterback, but I think they feel pretty good about Davis Mills. Like, according to everyone there in Houston, it might be the wrong decision, but they seem to like Davis Mills and think that there's upside there.
Hold on, just real quick. Here's what I think happens there. Deshaun Watson will not stay on the Houston Texans this upcoming offseason. The one team that I've heard over and over and over again that wants him badly, look, with all the sexual harassment stuff going on with Washington right now, it would be a bad move to send Deshaun Watson to Washington. So I don't want that. That's a PR nightmare. I don't see that happening. I think the Carolina Panthers are going to trade a lot to get Deshaun Watson. And in return, the Houston Texans get some first-round picks and Sam Darnold back. So I think Sam Darnold goes to Houston where he knows Josh McCown. Like Josh McCown used to back up Sam Darnold. I don't know what the holdup is with Sam Darnold or Josh McCown being named the quarterback coach for the Houston Texans. If you were not given the head coaching job and you think that you should just be given the head coaching job with no prior coaching experience and you're not going to take the quarterback coaching job, Josh McCown, buddy, like that job is waiting for you.
Dude,
so
you're reading my mind.
Yeah.
Like, you look at the draft, it seems like the Panthers right now at the 6th spot, they're the only team because you have the Jets picking at 4. They like Zach Wilson. They got Daniel Jones. They got the Giants at 5. Daniel Jones. I think they're expecting Brian Dable to turn him into Eli
Josh
Manning.
Allen.
Yeah, exactly. They're expecting to turn him into Josh Allen. Yeah, or Mitch Trubisky. But
Mitch Trubisky could go to New York and have some competition with Daniel Jones.
But the Panthers, man, it seems like the Panthers are going to be the next team to get that star quarterback in a trade.
I think so too.
Yeah, I mean, and then after that, the Giants have the 7th pick again because they got that from the Bears.
Yep.
Then you got the Falcons at 8. I don't know what's going to happen with the Falcons. Broncos at 9, Jets at 10 again, Commanders at 11. I mean, it looks like if Aaron Rodgers is staying in Green Bay, you'd probably expect Denver to maybe draft a quarterback. I don't know. Panthers maybe trade for him. Like, looks like the Panthers might be that team, man. And I'm with you. That sounds like what more would you want? If you're the Texans, you get the 3rd pick, then you trade for Sam Darnold, but you also get some first-round picks in return, and you get the 6th pick 3 picks later. I see them doing that deal all day, man.
I see that happening. If for whatever the latest is that Nathaniel Hackett is pushing hard to get Aaron Rodgers. No surprise there. If they don't get Aaron Rodgers, then the Denver Broncos have to decide if they're going to trade for a quarterback or draft a quarterback. And the best one I keep hearing about is Kenny Pickett. It'll be the battle between the Broncos or Washington at this point. Yeah, man. I see, there was rumors about Deshaun Watson. The Buccaneers are, they first need to get confirmation that Tom Brady is going to retire, because every week he goes on this Jim Gray podcast. He keeps letting it out there like, yeah, we'll see what happens training camp. No, dude, let us know what's going on, because the more you prolong this, the more the Buccaneers are going to be fucked. So they're doing their due diligence on Deshaun Watson and Russell Wilson. I don't see them getting either guy because they don't have the draft capital to do that, to make that enticing. I think the Carolina Panthers are going to end up with Deshaun Watson. As far as other quarterbacks that are rumored right now for trade stuff, I may be alone here. Am I the only one that thinks that the Colts should give Carson Wentz another try?
Well, the Colts don't, so they certainly don't agree with you.
But I don't see. I want to hear that's 100% true, because I've read the reports. They are out there that by March 15th, he is fully guaranteed his contract, and they don't want that to happen. So they're going to either trade him or cut him. Say what you will about Carson Wentz. The guy threw 27 touchdown passes and only 7 interceptions last year. And I don't know why everyone just hates him. Just fucking hates him. So
you're gonna see, you've been writing on this Carson Wentz thing all season, and it's been so up and down for you.
I'm the Dan Orlovsky of the podcast. Like
Steven, you were right. Carson Wentz isn't that good. And then like toward the end of the season, oh wait, Steven, Carson Wentz is kind of good.
I know, like I feel like I have to defend Matthew Stafford and Carson Wentz on a daily basis.
Can he contend though with these other quarterbacks in the AFC?
Yes, I think so, because
I don't.
Okay, but the team shit the bed the last 2 games against the Raiders and Jags. They were right there. I don't know, man. I don't think they should pull the plug on that too soon. I think that Carson Wentz in time could have that team humming. I don't think the Titans are getting any better with Ryan Tannehill. I keep him. I may be alone in this factor. And what's going to be better for you? The Colts don't have a high draft pick. This draft class sucks. So the
reason why though, Derek, why people are going so crazy over it is because sure, he's shown that he can do it in the regular season, but people are so forward thinking in the NFL, at least when it comes to playoffs and stuff. And the question is, can he contend with these other teams in the playoffs late in the season? His MVP year ended up getting hurt, not his fault. And Nick Foles came in and got the win. Toward the end of this season, crap the bed. Raiders were not a good team when they beat them. Like they played them well, but the Colts should have won that game. And the reason they lost is because Wentz had one reception. What?
He was coming off COVID though, too.
That's true. But still, they lost those games. So I think it's just the question of, all right, we've seen enough from him. Can he do it in the playoffs? No. So we need somebody different. And I don't know, maybe there's stuff going on within the Colts organization too. Like just how they're thinking of him.
I get that, but at the same time, what's a better option for them?
I don't know. I don't know.
So
where else would they go? That's it.
Yeah, I don't know about that. If you tell me so-and-so is our next option, a quarterback after Carson Wentz, then I'll listen to that. But if you don't have another idea of who you're getting to replace Carson Wentz, I would say stick with Carson Wentz, but that's just me. The interesting thing I read today was that the Philadelphia Eagles are in the mix for that, wanting to upgrade a quarterback too. And I understand that because I don't think Jalen Hurts is that great of a passer. What I'd be interested to know is would the Eagles want to send the Atlanta Falcons 2 first-round picks, Jalen Hurts, and Miles Sanders for Matt Ryan?
Ugh.
You don't like that? You don't like that?
No.
You don't think Matt Ryan on the Eagles would be better?
No.
Why?
Matt Ryan?
I think Matt Ryan's pretty good.
You think?
Dude, he's been playing on a shitty team for a while. It's the same thing with Matthew Stafford.
Is it?
Yes.
Hang on,
Matt Ryan could become the new Matthew Stafford.
My computer's draining out of battery. Hang on, let me grab this thing just so.
No worries.
Maybe it's just because of this Matt Ryan for 2 first rounders, Miles Sanders and Jalen Hurts.
Okay, well, dude, what did Matthew Stafford go for? 2 first-round picks and Jared Goff.
All right, I was not prepared for this. Hang on, let me look up Matt Ryan's statistics here first because good Lord, am I just like naive to draft or to draft pick compensation? Like what? Hang on.
At this point, Matt Ryan's going for at least a first-round pick.
God, you think so?
Yes, dude, come on. Or I could be alone here. I don't know. What do I know these days? I want Carson Wentz to quarterback the Colts. That's
20
crazy to people.
touchdowns to 12 interceptions. This is the lowest amount of yards that he's thrown for since 2010. 3,900.
But he was on a shitty team.
But he was on a crappy team. You're right. Does he have that much left in the tank going into a age 37 season, though? That's the difference between him and Stafford is the age.
If I were the Eagles and you have 3 first-round picks, I would ask about Matt Ryan because he's from Philadelphia. I think that you get him. Okay, here's a trade. I'm putting this trade out there. It would be 2 first-round picks that the Eagles have, and they have an extra one, too, so they're not losing one. You have 2 first-round picks, Jalen Hurts, Miles Sanders for Matt Ryan and Calvin Ridley.
Oh, for Matt Ryan and Calvin Ridley. There
Yes.
you go. Now you're talking a little bit here.
What do you say to that?
I'll
Yeah.
probably do that.
I would do that too.
I don't know if the Falcons are or the Eagles are gonna do that. I don't know.
Well, I mean, all they've said is we like Jalen Hurts, we like Jalen Hurts. Behind closed doors, they don't like Jalen Hurts.
You don't think so? I mean, Devonta Smith's a good. I mean, they made the playoffs this year.
I understand that, but so did the Rams last season with Jared Goff. And at some point, you got to say we have 3 first-round picks. Are we going to upgrade a quarterback?
And Matt Ryan's the choice you want to go with. You can't think of, I don't know, maybe any of the other quarterbacks that we're talking about. Shoot.
I'm just thinking about what's feasible. Matt Ryan would be beloved in Philadelphia. I don't know. I like Matt Ryan. That's me.
God,
Just my opinion, man.
I haven't watched enough Matt Ryan to. I mean, if I'm just thinking like based off of what I've seen this season, I don't know. God, you caught me off guard with that one, boy.
I would do that deal. I would do that deal.
My
Because
God.
of that. You all right?
Yeah, I'm just making sure I have my computer charged. Thought it wasn't.
Okay.
We're all good.
I don't want to jinx it here. This is first time in a while you haven't. Okay, all right. I won't say anything.
I'm meeting with I got a phone call with the genius tomorrow, 2:30. Set up an appointment. So let's see if we can get this shit sorted out. Let's go update my damn Mac, genius people.
And they're always fun to deal with.
I've never dealt with them before, so I'm excited for my first experience.
Are you going to the Apple Store?
Nah, it's just a call.
Okay, better situation.
Yeah, I can't wait till I tell them like, well, that didn't work. Oh, well, did you try this? That didn't work either. Well, did you try this? Nope, that hasn't worked. Okay, well, you could come in then. Let's do this.
Yeah.
You don't sound like that.
A few months ago, at my apartment in LA, all of our Wi-Fi is hooked up through Google Home or whatever.
Yeah.
And I like reset it and fucked it all up. I was on the phone with their support team for 3 hours. 3 hours. Oof. And then finally I like lost it and said, guys, I've been on the phone with you for 3 hours. Is there anybody you can connect me to that can resolve this situation? And they were like, yeah, we have one last resort. And it was this woman who was completely helpful. She got it done in 5 minutes because you know why? There was something I did where like my phone wasn't locked in with my Google Plus. So it was my fault. It was my fault. But she was smart enough to realize that was the problem. And for 3 hours, these people couldn't tell me that I was an idiot. And that's all I needed to hear.
I wish I could have seen you lose your patience. You're a very patient individual, but I've also seen you lose your patience though, and it's hilarious. So I wish I would have seen that.
In the words of Alexander Scott, come on, I got connected to my dad. Let's go. I got to get the show on. I was gonna be mad at me.
Has he sent you one of those face things, by the way?
Yes. That app where it changes his face and he looks like whatever character he's doing. It's pretty good. Yeah. The only thing I want is for the voice to match the face too, his impression.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
It would be amazing. All right, to finish up the QB carousel in the offseason. Okay. Derek Carr. I love Derek Carr. I think he should remain the Raiders quarterback for at least one more season to see how it plays out with Josh McDaniels. But to pay him reportedly a 35 to 40 million contract extension, I know he got into the playoffs. I know he's a loyal guy. He did the best job this season with the shit that was handed to him. No, I'm not giving him a contract extension. I'm not doing it. And in today's age where, God forbid, you let a quarterback play on 1 year left on his contract, why not? Why can't we see how Derek Carr plays with Josh McDaniels for one season and see how it goes? We have to give this contract extension to Derek Carr? I'm not a fan of that. No.
Well, the agents want that, though, right? They want security for not only themselves, but for the players that for their clients. I mean, the agent has to be pushing this, right?
Well, yeah, of course. But at the end of the day, can't the new GM, Dave Ziegler, is it Ziegler or Ziegler? I always forget.
Ziegler. Think Brad Ziegler. But
I
Ziegler.
know you said that, but I forget that too. Is he going to say, hey, we love Derek. Let's just see how it plays out this season. And then if he plays well, we'll definitely sign him back. For a guy that's that loyal to the Raiders and says that if he was going to, ever be traded or cut, that he would just retire, let's put it to the test.
2-year deal. This is from Vinny Bonsignor.
No, we got to pay attention to that, though.
It could be. Well, I mean, he got the Josh McDaniels
I
thing,
know.
right?
I'm kidding.
So
Vinny knows everything.
Like you said, any extension would be likely in the $40 million range. So if it's a 2-year deal and you factor in his 3rd year, that could be worth up to $100 million. My only thing is, that's the reported number, but how much does Derek Carr really care about money at this point?
Probably not.
If he's saying that he's going to leave the Raiders and he'd retire a Raider, then you don't care about money. You care about winning and clearly wanting to do it with this franchise. Like, there'd be other places where they could allocate those funds so that you can make your team better. Why would you take all of it for yourself when you know that you got to pay for other players? That does not make any sense to me.
Rewind 5 years ago where the same situation happened and we couldn't sign Khalil Mack back.
Next thing you know, oh no, Max Crosby, he's holding out because he wants a new contract. Oh no, Hunter Renfrow. I mean, actually, I'm not going to put Hunter Renfrow in that category. Hunter Renfrow's fine.
Well, I don't know. Well, hold on. Is Cooper Kupp making big money now because he's Super Bowl MVP? Hunter Renfrow's next in line.
I don't know, but I'm seeing these reports. I don't buy into them. Would I do it? I don't know. I don't know where the Raiders are, dude. Like, what? I don't know how I'm supposed to look as a Raider fan. Honestly, like, I'm at the point where we talked about it with Josh McDaniels and Dave Ziegler. They can be as good of a coaching and GM tandem as we want. They got to make the right draft picks and do all of that, but it is going to be so hard to catch up to where these other teams have already been. The Chiefs, the Chargers, even getting past them in the AFC West is a tough task at this point. Is Derek Carr that guy? Conventional wisdom says no, but the dude has not had a stable season ever in his career. There's always been something wrong. I guess 2016 you could count as a stable season, but guess what? He broke his damn ankle at Christmas Eve. So no, that wasn't a stable season either. Like, the dude hasn't had a regular season, so I don't know. Like, I don't know. And if it it's so tough, man. Like, it's hard to have it, 'cause I hear arguments on both sides. Go ahead, pay him. But good God, if you're taking $40 million a year and you're going to be worth up to $100 million after 3 seasons, you ain't worth that kind of money.
That's why I think it should not be done. And on the flip side, you hear the other reports that Derek Carr is willing to take less money to trade for Davante Adams. Well, good luck with that too. Like, don't give him anybody. Let's try to get the best team possible. Get Chandler Jones at free agency. Get Davante Adams. And then if the season goes well, then give Derek Carr that big fat contract. But until then, no. And I feel the same way about Kyler Murray. What the hell is all this shit now? Where he's talking about, oh, they don't appreciate me. They all think I'm not trying hard. I want to come. I'm calling my girlfriend at halftime. I want to get pulled out of playoff games because we're down by so much. Kyler, You don't deserve a contract right now, buddy. You've shit the bed the last 2 seasons. I know you took the team to the playoffs, but if you're so mad with the Cardinals right now, then go play baseball. Go play baseball.
My favorite thing about the whole saga was J.J. Watt making some sort of Instagram and Twitter post where he's all being sarcastic and funny, which I did find funny at the time.
I did
Where he's
too,
like,
but it's true. Yeah.
Kyler FaceTime me. He says, wait, he didn't answer. Are we friends?
Yeah.
You know, and that kind of thing. Like, what does this mean?
Yeah, I saw it too.
Well, clearly there was something going on with Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. Like, I think that's an organizational problem. I don't think that's a Kyler Murray problem. Like, that's on the organization to set him straight. Like, hey, man, just because you're the number 1 overall pick and now you're the captain of this team doesn't mean you get to do whatever you want. You're still on your rookie contract, man.
Yeah.
Like, that situation's a mess over there in Arizona. I don't even know what to make of it.
I mean, between Cliff Kingsbury not being the best, end of the year coach, and I guess Kyler Murray not being the best end of the year quarterback too, he's regressed. He starts seasons great, and then he regresses towards the end. And it may be that DeAndre Hopkins was hurt this season. I don't know. But I don't know, man. I'm kind of sick of all these quarterbacks just like after one good season being like, I deserve a contract extension. No, you don't. No, you don't. Like, let's let it play out a little bit. Like, I don't know, Detroit Aikman, like, I would love to see how Troy Aikman, him as a quarterback today, would be perceived, because the guy never threw more than 20 touchdown passes, but yet he won 3 Super Bowls, and that was enough for people. And I'm sure he never garnered a big fat contract. So I know it's a new day and age, but God, man, Derek Carr, for as nice of a guy he is, does not deserve a new contract. Kyler Murray, for as great as a player he is, does not deserve a new contract. It's just how I feel.
I'm with you. And I go back on Derek Carr all the time, because you love him 1 minute, then all of a sudden he's dropping back and he's getting pressured, then he hangs onto the ball too long, then he gets sacked, then, oh yeah, they force a fumble and the team gets the ball back. Like it goes both ways. I've seen him make some spectacular throws, some unbelievable throws. And when kind of like the thing I like about Carr and what's differentiated him compared to the quarterbacks of the Raiders pass is that when he drops back to pass and he does it with conviction, kind of like with Matt Stafford, like if he gets rid of the ball after that 2 or 3 step drop, that most likely means he's found the open man and he knows where he's going, and he's probably going to complete the pass. Derek Carr can do that much, which is good enough, but it's all the extra things. Do I think he's a good leader? Yeah. Does this mean that him and Josh McDaniels had a good meeting? Probably. I mean, that is one part of this that I think is interesting is, I do think that it shows, okay, Josh McDaniels might think that he's this guy and he can work in his system. So, but $40 million a year when I sat Carr, $40 million?
No.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Can't deal with it.
It's too much, man. And let's just see, like, I'm sure there's a part of Josh McDaniels. I know he probably had to sell Mark Davis on the fact that I'm going to make this work with Derek. But there's also got to be a part in his mind where it's like, I want to make it work with Derek, but let's just see how it goes for a season. And I'm all for that. Everybody that wants to get rid of Derek Carr right now, let's let it play out. But I do not agree with signing him to an extension. I do not agree with that. But let's switch gears here real quick, Steven. Warriors. I mean, this podcast is going to be more focused on basketball. We'll obviously talk football in the offseason, and that will be, I don't want this to be just a football podcast. I think you're in agreement too. Like, we love football, but we want to talk about other things as well. And basketball will be a big thing. So going forward,
we're men of culture, Derek.
Yes,
we can talk about different things.
We'll talk about books, even though I don't read them. The Warriors. Bad loss last night. As good as Steph was for the first half, I caught the tail end of the game in the fourth quarter. Just an off night. It's a bad loss to the Clippers. Obviously, the defense has had its problems. As bad as the Clippers' loss was, I love the win on Saturday night against the Lakers. It seems that the Warriors are the only team that could beat the LA teams these days as far as Bay Area teams. Just your overall thoughts on the Warriors these days.
My God, Kevon Looney's tired.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Like, this dude's 26 years old, and it was like 5 minutes left in the first quarter yesterday, and there was a timeout called. Dude's wheezing, walking back to the bench.
Like you could see his shoulders shrug. Like this dude's tired, so he needs the break. But the big question is, it's very simple. Did they play a good game yesterday? No. Steph had a historic type of first half. The first player to score 29 points with 0 rebounds, assists, steals, or blocks for the first time in a half since 2015. So shout out to him for getting that done. But no one else on the team could knock down shots. And then the defense just wasn't there. They couldn't stop Terrence Mann or Reggie Jackson off the dribble in the second half. Ivica Zubac made his presence felt as a big man in the first half. So the question is, do they need to add anything? And I think whatever happens with this buyout situation, Goran Dragic was the first domino to fall today, who became a free agent. So he was available as a buyout option. And naturally, the Warriors were linked. But I think if you're going to spend as much money as you would, which doesn't seem like that much, but it'd be a lot extra. I mean, the veteran minimum for Bielitsa, Porter, Andre Iguodala, it's like 1.66 million or something like that. But they're essentially worth 7 or 8 million just because of the tax. That's pretty much what you'd be getting if you were to get a guy on the buyout market, even more than that. So if they do get someone else, and I'm not sure they need another big body on the court and you can wait for Wiseman, but if they do get another option, dude, that's telling me that Draymond is not close to coming back and they're probably saving him for the playoffs. And it's also telling me they don't really have much faith in Wiseman to be that second big man. Bielitsa hasn't worked out. And that's the risk you run if you go for a big at the buyout market. You could just be getting another Nemanja Bielitsa, like a guy who just sits in the paint, putting his hands up, not even playing any defense. Maybe he's getting a 3 every now and then. But, they just need the break, man. They need the break. Am I feeling good about the Warriors right now? Yeah, they're 42-16. I'm fine. But do they need to make a move? If Draymond's coming back healthy, I'd say no, but the dude has a hurt disc. A disc, Derek. This isn't a CL. This isn't a cruciate ligament. The M, the P, the A, the U, it's none of those. It's not a meniscus tear, a disc.
Yes, say it slowly like Steve Levy, a disc.
A disc. There's a problem with a disc in his body.
His disc is bulging.
You say there's a problem with a disc? I'm not feeling too good.
Well, the thing that my dad keeps bringing up that is making me concerned that no one's asked. Yeah, I heard you. The thing that's making me concerned about Draymond is that it turned into a hamstring injury initially, right? That has gone to his back.
A calf injury, which was affected by a disc in his back.
That's signs of sciatica, which is not good. So can someone, I love all the Warriors reporters. I'm not calling anybody out, but I would love it. And maybe we'll ask Whitley next press conference. Can someone ask, does Draymond have sciatica? And I'm sure we won't get I'm sure that's a dumb question to ask in the first place because no one's going to give a straight answer on that either. But that does make me concerned when you have a lower leg injury that starts to lower leg injury that starts to shoot up to your back. That's a problem. And the same situation, it's not as severe, it sounds like, for Andre, but he could be out until the playoffs as well. I'm with you, Steven. What are they, 42-16?
Uh-huh. Or is it 41? I can't.
Whatever it is.
Whatever.
They're doing fine. They're the second best team in the NBA right now. I think that they'll be okay in the grand scheme of things. They need the break, but it would be nice to pick up another big. It just needs to be the right big. And I still think Marc Gasol's an option. I don't know who else is on the table right now. Sure, Tristan Thompson, if he's available, let's get him at this point. I fear of the locker room drama that will happen with Draymond and Tristan Thompson. But at the end of the day, if they're all trying to win a championship and he's an established player, let's just do it.
They're grown-ups. They can talk it out.
Yeah,
I'm not worried about that. I'm just wondering about the money. Here's how I equated the Joe Lacob thing with the luxury tax. Because whenever he talks about spending, he sounds like a frustrated parent at Disneyland.
That's pretty good.
You know what I mean? You go for a weekend, you go Friday through Sunday, and the dad of the group, who's normally paying for everything, the Mickey Mouse flavor, the Mickey Mouse shaped lollipops, the cotton candy, the turkey legs, the Dole Whips, whatever it is, like by that Sunday, more often than not, you're fresh out of money. And
Yeah.
then at the end, it's like the kids are still asking you for candy. The kids are still asking you for this. Well, you got to dip into the savings a little bit. Like, that's how it feels with Joe Lacob. It's like, kids, I don't have the money. If I do, then I got to dip into my savings here that I don't want to spend. So give me a little leeway here. And lo and behold, this is where we are now.
But in the words of Dave Chappelle, if Joe Lacob just invested in some Disney dollars, then he could avoid all of that.
I wish I knew the reference. I'm sorry.
You never heard the bit where Dave Chappelle goes to Disneyland and they're like, Mr. Chappelle, can we interest you in some Disney dollars? And of course, the famous line from Dave Chappelle is, nah, man, you can't buy weed and pussy with Disney dollars.
Oh my God. Is that from the Chappelle show or stand up?
Stand up from years ago.
No, but that's how it is, man. And if they're willing to go into the pocketbook, for one, they better be confident in that guy. But number two, that's showing me Draymond ain't ready to come back, and they just want to have another, not another big. They just want someone to fill out that roster.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, we'll see what happens here. I'm not too concerned, but the break can't come any faster. So let's just it's happening this week. Let's just get past this game on Wednesday night against the Nuggets, and we'll see what go from there.
Oh, it was beautiful watching Steph, though. Beautiful watching Steph.
Beautiful watching Steph as always. Beautiful watching Clay on Saturday night. God, that was a great performance.
You know how we there's sequential play calling in football. It's like you run this play that way, then you get the defense thinking, then you run it the opposite way. That's what Steph was doing to the Clippers yesterday with his 3-point shot. It was unreal. I saw him split the defense, go in for a floater. Then I saw him split the defense, do the same thing, except this time he hits a step back. Then in the first quarter, there was one where he just hit a pull-up straight up because they were afraid that he was going to try and hit the floater and go to the rim. Like, it was sequential what he was doing, at least in the first half. Then in the second half, he only scored 7 points, and that's when the Clippers started to take over, so you didn't really need Steph for the game. But it was a thing of beauty to watch. Take away that loss for a second and how bad it was. Like, watching Steph do that was special.
Yeah, it was special. It was special. And what Klay Thompson did, I thought Saturday night was special too. I watched that game with my pops. He was in LA. And I want to say this real quick. What UFC event was happening Saturday night?
271.
Okay. Is that bigger than the Lakers in LA? We went to multiple bars to watch this game and were turned away because they were not going to put on the Lakers-Warriors game at bars in LA.
Well, UFC 271 makes the money.
I understand it makes the money, but have things gone that bad for the Lakers in LA where we can't watch the Laker game at a bar?
I don't think it's that. I mean, did they not have it on any TV at all?
Any TV. We had to find another bar.
Well, that's a problem. That was one bar?
2 bars. I'm sorry, 3 bars. Finally, the 4th bar, we found a bar. But 3 bars in LA refused to put on the Lakers-Warriors game. It's pretty bad.
Yeah, well, I had those fights on really all day. I paid for it. It was great.
I understand that too. I understand UFC being a big thing, but just put us in the corner. We'll watch the Lakers and Warriors game by ourselves.
Yeah, no, I get it. Joe Rogan didn't make an appearance. What do you know?
Real quick, Steven, we haven't done this in a while. My jackass of the week.
Ooh.
James Harden. Oh. Really? You're really going to show up to the press conference and say that the Brooklyn Nets thing didn't work out because you didn't want to be traded there in the first place? Really, James? Because you didn't gain weight and you didn't sabotage that whole first half of the Rocket season? You didn't turn down a max contract? You didn't give a press conference speech where you said we're just not that good? You forced your hand to go to Brooklyn, and then you didn't like Brooklyn, and now you're changing your mind again like a little child. Just admit it.
There better be no one that listens to what James Harden actually says. Like, this dude's stock can't be, I mean, maybe not like, player stock wise, like as far as trade value and all that, but as far as just people in the NBA who you trust, Ben Simmons is right there, but I think he has plenty of time with the Nets here to maybe alleviate some of that. James Harden, just on a downward trajectory, man. Kind of sad to watch, but I don't care. I don't really have a lot of empathy for him or sympathy, whatever. I don't have a lot of it for him. Did you see that? Like, the $47 million player option that he was going to opt into with the Sixers can't happen because they didn't get the paperwork done in time.
So he's still a free agent?
Yeah, check it out. It's amazing.
Oh my sweet Jesus. He's gonna leave again.
Oh my sweet Jesus.
Him and Embiid are gonna clash during the playoffs, and he's gonna leave. Yeah,
Oh, poor Embiid.
poor
Let me,
Embiid.
you know what? Let me check that just to make sure, because you know
If that's true, if that's true, if that's true, then the trade should not be finalized because he had to agree to that for the trade to be good.
Yes. So NBA rumors confirmed James Harden has not opted in. A league source confirmed Monday morning that Harden did not opt into his deal before being traded to Philadelphia. And then it was followed up that the paperwork wasn't completed in time.
That's fucking terrible. That's terrible. Daryl Moore just being like, oh, whatever, we got him. No, you're gonna lose him again. Whatever.
I love seeing Seth go 10 for 17 with 23 points though against the Kings last night. That's good.
He made his debut. I didn't even see.
Yeah. Seth was
Good
out
for
there.
Seth. I'm rooting for Seth.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, Steven, we're just gonna start doing this podcast without any football being played. And I know I was joking in the beginning that I'm depressed and we don't know what we're gonna talk about. But we're gonna have a lot of fun going forward. We'll talk about the NFL offseason and we'll talk a little more basketball. And hopefully baseball happens. I know pitchers and catchers are supposed to happen today, but hopefully we get a baseball season to talk about. So despite my dark humor, we have a lot to talk about on this podcast. I'm looking forward to it.
It's just such a funny way to promote the show right away.
We have nothing to talk about.
Football's done. We don't have anything we can talk about. Oh no!
This may be where this podcast shines, where we start to speculate and do all the things that everybody loves. Where we dig into the rumors.
Now the eyeballs are going to go up. Now we're going to see that little viewer icon there go up. And look at this. We got a spam comment today from YouTube. Check it out.
Vum today
by, I'm not even going to try and pronounce that.
Okay.
So there you go.
I know about Vum, but I may go with my family now and get some rum because I know my mom wanted to eat dinner at 5:00, as most people do in Florida, but I've prolonged this now. So we're going to go have dinner now. I know. I'm so mean.
What time is it there?
It's 8:00.
Dude.
It's the normal time to have dinner, wouldn't you say?
Sure, but I know you. I could picture you saying, "No, it's not gonna take that long. It's fine. No, it's gonna be okay."
No. They know.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Don't worry. They'll get the bill at the bar. You guys don't worry about that. We're fine. We're all comped. We're good.
You're bringing up that story at Ricky's?
Yes.
We'll save that for another day. Real quick, for the 0 fans that we have watching this, we're going to take a little time off. We'll be back in 2 weeks. March 1st, we'll have a new podcast, and we'll keep doing 2 episodes a week. If anything happens big-wise with trades, we may pop back on early, but right now the plan is me and Steven will be back in 2 weeks, March 1st, get a new podcast going, second season of Just Your Opinion, mainly off-season. And we look forward to a lot more people joining us. We had a lot of big guests this year. And I'm happy for everyone and I'm really grateful for everyone that took the time to come and join us. And Steven, I'm also grateful to the fans and everything, and that people that have actually paid attention to this thing. But
we have those?
Yeah, from time to time, people listen to this thing.
Huh.
But Steven, I want to thank you, man, because I know this year has been hard for you. So thank you for making an effort to come and do this with me every week.
Of course, buddy. Come on. Of course.
All right.
I told you it's therapy, man.
It is therapy sometimes. It is therapy.
Yeah.
So everybody, we'll be back in 2 weeks, and the podcast will be better than ever. Thank you all for watching and streaming and listening to the podcast. Steven, say what you always say, my man.
And remember, it's just our opinion, man. Vum today.